And hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special late-night stream here on the Overanalyst channel. I'm, here completely by myself tonight, because, well, two reasons. One, I mentioned some time ago, I think during a late-night Death's Door stream, that especially as my workload has started to thin out and I've been kind of bored in the evenings, I wanted to take the time to maybe stream some smaller side projects for you guys, so that they're available for anybody who happens to wander in late at night on Twitch, or for any of you wonderful folks who catch these after the fact on YouTube, for whom I am endlessly grateful. Second is that Potato, off-stream, actually managed to get the ability we were gunning for during a solo adventure run on ROM. This shield, apparently, that will protect us from the Corsus World boss's nasty little homing orbs that it summoned in more or less constantly that we could not deal with. So, I have endeavored, or shall endeavor tonight, with you here to keep me company, or at least to listen to me ramble to myself, to acquire that same ability. But before we tackle another adventure run of ROM, we have to clean up the one we've already started. I think there's one more dungeon present on the world we rolled up with Potato last time, and that very well could be the one that contains the Black Tear. Regardless, after we're through with that dungeon tonight, because I've got maybe 2.5 to 3 hours, we'll see, I want to roll one more variant apiece of... Hey, Spanners, no worries. I know I'm super late. This is actually an irregular stream, because I just need an item that Potato already found off-stream to be able to absolutely level this next boss, so I'm recording these for two reasons. One is that I just want to fill my night with something productive, and two, because I know lots of people catch these as VODs on YouTube, and so I'm thinking of maybe streaming these, but mainly just creating a backlog of stuff for YouTube. Glad you're here, though, man, and hope the video's going well. I hope your progress on that new video is going well. I saw what game it is, and I have to say I'm super excited. I haven't completed a playthrough of Undertale myself, but I've gotten quite close. And I'm very, very excited to get into Deltarune eventually, because some people say it's even better. Right, so we're going to roll one more map's worth of environments on Earth and on ROM as well, just for fun, and also to see what gear and what weapons we can get that we haven't so far. At the very least, we'll be able to acquire the additional weapons from each world boss. You know, you can always fight or kill them by two different means to get secondary weapons. And so I think the Ent, and Singe the dragon on Earth both have melee weapons we can get if we destroy certain elements of their anatomy before killing them. So no matter what we get when we re-roll Earth, we should get at least one weapon out of the deal. Let's see what our last dungeon will be on ROM, yeah? Unless we already cleared them all. I don't think we did. Spanner says, oh, I've been meaning to ask what happened to like 9/10 of the videos in the old Overanalyzing Creepypasta playlist. I think I set a ton of them to private or invisible, something like that, ages ago. I know the 1999 videos were removed technically by copyright strike because I forget. So I'm not saying any of this definitively, but what I think happened is the 1999 story that was posted to Creepypasta Wiki and other sites was posted without the express permission of the original author, and they wanted to publish an expanded, refined version of that story in like a horror anthology or standalone book or something like that for some commercial purpose. And so they were kind of trying to scour any trace of it from the web. That's what happened to those. As for the others, I think a lot of them are just invisible. But if you're interested, we will be filming a new edition of Overanalyzing Creepypasta tomorrow, with a focus, I think, on Pokemon creepypastas, because those are always so much fun, and so good, right? Okay, so we want to go east. keep our eyes peeled for Bori. Oh, well, that was easy. Huh. Well, this isn't gonna be what we wanted. Because Potato said it's a Veer dungeon we ultimately want to tackle, but we'll plumb it anyway. Worst case scenario, we just get some new scrap for the home base. By the way, the reason I don't have the webcam on tonight is because I am, like, laid back in my armchair. These are gonna be super chill late-night streams. I have another game in mind to, like, dedicate exclusively to late-night chill streams a bit later on that we should start up hopefully at some point this week. Okay, what do we got? Spanner says, yeah, I know about the 1999 stuff. For a while, the stuff with Jacob and the other Blue Majority members, I can't remember the name of, remained up for a while after that takedown. The stuff with your old co-host, too, alongside the Creepypasta Land playthrough. Yeah, I think those were the ones that were just kind of thrown to the side, or thrown to private. So I may make them available again if I can. Sorry to say it's not a super priority right now until my thesis is done. But, since you brought it up, I will try to get into YouTube at some point and release them all once again. Vault of the Herald. Have we been here previously? Oh, I can't. I'm gonna have to start remembering these dungeon names, y'all. So we've got mutants. Good. Ooh, Tome of Knowledge right off the bat. We definitely want that. Man, I gotta tell you, it's gonna be very, very hard to find something that doesn't... Or to find a sub-weapon that just totally outclasses Spitfire. It's very fast. Decently accurate as submachine guns go. Normally, I can't stand using such weapons in shooters because of their inaccuracy. And it's got that nice, flame mod. Now, to be fair, whoa, the irradiated hand cannon we got from, I think it was the Harrow here, was pretty good.
Oh, it's over.
Banner says, I can't for the life of me remember who you're... oh, no, MD Phantasm is who you're thinking of, who was a great co-host. Funny, charming, very, very nice guy, as I remember. Hey, Eclipse, good evening, or good morning, how's it going? I'm just, plodding along here for some, well, really grinding, and to get a certain item that Potato already managed to find off-stream, so just thought I'd record it for posterity. Spinner says, I use those videos to fall asleep to, and immediately notice when they disappeared. I gotcha. I gotcha. I appreciate that you're still able to enjoy them to such an extent. That actually means a lot years after the while. Years down the road. Eclipse says, you know, the weapon styles, not the art style, remind me of Borderlands? Yeah, a little bit. Right down to the fact that their forms shifts to reflect the culture, or the, I guess in this case, the manufacturer of the mod you have equipped. Eclipse says, falling asleep to creepypasta stuff was hilarious because you'd probably wake up to Jacob or Toby having an existential crisis. Yeah. Yeah. See, I think all of the bad stuff genuinely got to them to a certain extent, while, freak that I am, I've always just loved the terrible writing. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
Stay down.
No, it's not down. Now it is. Whoa! You know, it's crazy. Out of all the enemies on this planet who use gravitic weapons, to my knowledge, we have never acquired a single one. They've all been radioactive. I gotta say, that hammer's pretty damn good. Clip says, also, I'm convinced the remaster broke the hitboxes on the Ornstein and Smough fight. because that big telegraph dash Ornstein does is so glitchy when he has to navigate around Smaugford terrain. Yeah, it is. That's, as I've mentioned before, it seems like it misses if you're standing stock still like 80% of the time. But I feel like I also have very vague memories of that happening during my attempts of that fight on the original. So I don't know. How did it go, by the way? Today's stream, that is. Spirit says, I never fell asleep to the BCP channel, only Brady. I can't block out BCP, I just want to laugh along with it. Well, I suppose I was the Bob Ross of creepypasta. I'll take it as a compliment. Eclipse says, duh, I could block out stuff I've listened to it enough. Couldn't block out new stuff, though. Maybe, but it didn't seem as bad. Like, he was glitching for solid 10 seconds sometimes? Oh. That is far, far worse than anything I recall from the original run. Eclipse says, I beat Pinwheel, then got so close 3 times. We got the Rite of Kindling, at least. That's, gotta be pretty handy. Even to a low health run. And Spanner says, not gonna lie, I haven't watched bad creepypasta in a long time. They started streaming readings, which is fine, but they get sidetracked and can't edit it out. Oh, easily the worst part of trying to produce a program like that live. I've entertained the thought of filming a live episode of overanalyzing creepypasta, but with how easily Seth Potato and I get completely sidetracked, I don't think it'd be super viable. Something tells me that the mod that allows me to summon a couple of those hovering skulls wouldn't do too damn much good. I mean, yes, we're using a powerful weapon right now, but they've always been kind of squishy. Clip says, after glitching, it sometimes felt he sped up to compensate. I have seen that happen before, yes. Very strange. Clip says, I want to find some Spyro creepypasta. Ooh, man, let me know if you ever do. I'm sure some of that's delightfully bad. Also, something, the Crash Spyro crossover minigame collections were horrifying enough. I hear a mutant. Yes, I do. Oh, mine! Okay. Okay, we're good. Whoa. Oh, they've got a Sorcerer. Oh no, this is the one that attacks with several AoEs in quick succession. And makes it very hard to heal. That enemy, regardless of difficulty, is actually much harder without multiple players, because all of those attacks are going to be focused right on you. Ah, but I disrupted him. Clip says, if you ever need a co-host with some Scottish twang, hit me up. Oh yeah, man, you're always welcome to join, if you're free during our recording times. Like, I think tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central European Time we'll be recording, I think. Cliff says it'd be more like a podcast. It'd become more like a podcast with the creepypasta in the background. Yeah. Spanner says it could be a fun one-off stream, but it's definitely not a consistent thing to do. And did you ever hear the tale of Bad Creepypasta Jr.? No! No, I am seriously out of the loop. Hardened Iron! It's the highest tier of weapon reinforcement material, and it's appearing on ROM now, because I guess because I have several pieces of plus 15 gear. Sweet. Okay, and it's just the vault, so we can, since we've already got and are in fact wearing the armor that's stored here, we can instead turn turn in our rods in exchange for scrap. Yeah, I'm with Eclipse. Bad Creepypasta Jr. I've never heard of this. I'm fascinated, though. Iron, forged iron, scrap, bloodwort. Oh, that's pretty good. Hardened iron. That's it, son. That's it. More scrap, more iron. Oh, baby, I'm going to have a picture-perfect rad rifle by the time we're done here. But I suppose that's it for this run of ROM. Left head on back. Spanner says, there was a proposed show from the Bad Creepypasta Discord since there was a long drought of content on the main channel. Okay. Like a spin-off hosted by community members. I gotcha. I was about to say, I kind of thought my show essentially was Bad Creepypasta Jr. back in the day. Clip says, I'm probably just going to upgrade my Ghost Blade and rinse Ornstein and Smough. Gotten so close at +3. What refinement material does it require again? It's so difficult to keep track in Dark Souls because the requirements for upgrade paths are all over the place. Spinner says we did weekly readings at the time, and I think at some point we did a tryout. Oh, right on, you were part of the staff. I see. Eclipse says, your show was more like chill uncle creepypasta. Yeah, more or less. And Twinkling Titanite. Okay.
Oh, traveler.
It could be worse, then.
What do you need?
Twinkling Titanite, despite its in-canon rarity, has always been pretty easy to get your meds on, I think. If you know where to look, anyhow. Oh yeah, we can keep upgrading the beam rifle. We're gonna keep upgrading the beam rifle. As much as I'd like to use other weapons, I'm also super fond of sticking to what I know.
Be safe out there.
It says Giant Blacksmith sells it now. That's right, it does. Spanner says, myself and a couple others, like 4 in total, decided to give it a go, and the reading went all right, but we couldn't get the Discord call recorded. Really? Well, I'm sure if you would like to attempt something like that again, and don't already have a tech solution in mind, folks from our Discord can help you figure it out. Spanner says, yeah, unfortunately it never went anywhere, but I was told I was the mad of the group, which is pretty epic. There you go. World settings, time to roll a new Earth map. We're playing on normal because we're not insane. Or we're only insane during the co-streams, I should say. Ah, excellent. Just got a notification that one of the birthday presents I've ordered for a friend shall arrive tomorrow. Eclipse says, I'm insane constantly. No, man, that's the appeal of your streams to me, is you handle extremely frustrating, very, 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 meticulous challenges and runs with such grace. Like, you guys remember me having a meltdown over not being able to get a stupid legendary Pokemon in a Pokeball a couple days ago, right? I could never in a million years manage what you do, and find it so, so impressive. Okay, let's see what's in this variant of Earth we've rolled up. Okay, Tomahawk throwers are back instead of the riflemen. This is gonna be a little easier, I think. Spanner says there's still readings, but they're bi-weekly now, since one week is in Bad Creepypasta and one is in Hudo Hoodlum's Revenge is server. Another major creepypasta, or I guess internet horror personality, if I recall. My show just kind of exists now, or I guess our show, as it is now evenly divided, ownership is divided between the three of us, is like the store brand knockoff version, like the generic creepypasta reading show. Cliff says, yeah, the main thing that's genuinely pissing me off about the remaster is how bad it feels to play. I can't put my finger on it, but from day one I was just, yuck, I feel like I'm fighting the remaster, not the boss. A lot of people who had a great deal of experience with the original have said similar things. I guess I was fortunate enough in that I had very little experience, relatively speaking, with the original release of Dark Souls 1, and so for the stream, like, really got to learn the remaster. But I imagine if you had developed, like, muscle memory from the base game, that it would be really distracting. Earth, you've got to be careful and really pick your way through, because there's so much stuff that could be cut apart for scrap. Or smashed apart at this point, I suppose. Great job there, Rad Blast. Okay, we've got an elite. What's it gonna be? Archer, maybe? Whoa. Looks like it. I saw projectiles. Yep. We've got archers. So it looks like so far we're getting the same overworld enemy set as we did when Potato and I came through here. Cliff says, yeah, my muscle memory from Dark Souls 1 is still intact. I could go back now and still roll Gwen over. Oh, man. Somehow or another, I bet I could too, but only on the remaster. I had such a hard time getting the timing down for him on the main game. Spinner says, generic creepy man 12 is off-brand. Now, there aren't really many haha bad creepy readings, so you can't be the off-brand. Fair enough, and good night. Thanks for dropping by and saying hi. If I do these kind of late-night streams in future, and I want to, I might get started a little bit earlier. I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay. Let's see here. Yep. Pretty sure there was one more. Oh, I hear something large. Or not necessarily. Oh, I see something purple, though. Something unique. A ring? It's likely a ring. If there's a skeleton nearby, then yeah, it's almost certainly a ring. Mother's ring. What? Oh, what does this do? I still have no idea why the hammer causes us to scream like, in a very, very monstrous, guttural, distorted voice akin to Obori's. But it does. And it's amusing. It's actually not a whole lot slower than the Scrap Saber, is it? Oh, hi, guys. Ah, that's what we heard gargling around, I think. An elite. And it is dragging that mole straight up here. Yep. Let's see if this will stagger it. No such a... Whoa, where did you come from? When in doubt, fire. And it's down. Nice. The chain gun variant of those brutes, even on normal and even with our level of armor reinforcement, they are absolutely no joke. It looks like this variant of the tomahawk throwers, the ones with the curled growths emerging from roughly their shoulder blades, are far more durable. I don't believe they count as elites, but they have additional natural armor, I suppose. I disagree, Avatar. It wasn't that bad. Hold on, let me turn this up just a little so that I'm not just totally drowning out the game. Okay. Shouldn't be too far from either a central hub and or a couple dungeons. It's in the driver's seat here. Some more bloodwort. Okay, yeah, that'll be helpful. We'll also be getting trait points just by doing these kinds of run-throughs, which are always super handy in my mind. Oh, it's an archer that I didn't even see. Look at that! Excellent homing. They tracked with his teleportation. Is that galvanized iron? Yep, good stuff. That's hardened iron, isn't it? Yes, indeed. Oh man, we're getting the good stuff now. We'll be able to upgrade just about anything to max. Including, hopefully, Spitfire sometime soon. Even though we'll need lots of Luminite crystals for that, I think, which only have a small chance of dropping from elites, I think. I like, though, that it's not the case that, more valuable weapon reinforcement materials drop only in quote-unquote later game areas, but if you're re-rolling and going back through earlier game areas, you have roughly the same chance to discover those materials as you would in later game areas. It's all dictated by the level of reinforcement your current gear has reached, which is pretty cool, I think. Clip says, you know, this game looks like the kind of game where for one boss fight you could actually find a tank, and it wouldn't look out of place, right? I don't know if there's any vehicular bosses, though. There might be some in the DLC. Okay, so the homing's a little shorter range than I would have thought. I think I would have realized that after using this ability for several streams, but no. Looks like maybe around 15 meters or something is where the homing cuts off. Oh, that's yet another archer. Good God, there's a lot of them. And we're bleeding. Great. Okay. It's not exactly that archers deal a lot of damage. They don't. It's that their attacks inflict bleed. Rather easily, at that. Also, their weak point is rather awkwardly placed. It's somewhere around their head, but I don't believe it actually is the being's head. Let's go ahead and heal up. Pop a bandage to get rid of that bleed. And we're good to go. This last one dropped a Luminite crystal too, so I can't get too mad. Ah, as did this one over here. Excellent. Oh, even more of them? Yeah, every time I've gone through, Earth has been kind of slow going just because there's so many root creatures. You actually can tell, looking at the standard foot troops, that many root units are just overgrown humans. You can actually, even though it's kind of hard to see in the midst of action, notice human legs just kind of dangling beneath the, or rather standing between these dangling flaps of kind of loose bark that form the quote-unquote tentacles you can observe on a lot of root units. Ah! Sewers. Excellent. My favorite. Well, let's see what's in the other direction, just in case. Oh, and while we're up here, let's use our trait points to... maybe go ahead and max out Spirit, plus 25% faster mod power generation. That sounds pretty good. And see what Mother's Ring does. I know what they say about the Root Mother, but she watches over us. Always has. She'll watch over you too. Reduces incoming range damage by 20%. It's not great, but it's good. Okay, I guess because of the increased... I was debating whether or not to remove the Mender's Charm since I'm not playing co-op right now, but that increased healing effectiveness by 50% actually sounds super worthwhile, even totally alone. Let's see what's over here. Oh. This is different. This kind of obelisk. Looks to be made of much of the same material and bears many of the same, like, architectural motifs as the labyrinth. And there's another... I was gonna say there's another dungeon right over here, but no. What on earth is this? Let's try interacting with it. Okay, so we'll possibly need to find 3 items somewhere that we can maybe insert into the obelisk to cause these sconces to light up and then provide us with some kind of armor, weapons, other benefits. Okay, I guess we do want to go to the sewer first, because we can then teleport right here to the obelisk. Fascinating. So I think, my understanding is this is one of those quote-unquote random events, like a single substantial encounter or spawn that will define the overworld of each world you randomly generate. Like the first 2 times we went through Earth, the random event we got was Mudtooth's, so like the old man's derelict aircraft. And I believe the Wandering Tree, the root spawn that we can use the mask to interact with that Potatoes talked about, is also one of those random events. So this time around we got an obelisk I am totally unfamiliar with. That's interesting. Well, let's see what's in the sewer. It may just be Shroud or the bandits again, but it could be something totally new. Who knows? I know there's at least 2 bosses on Earth that we have never faced before. Okay, this seems to be a proper dungeon, I think, so it's not... Oh no, it's Junktown. It's just Junktown. Where we got the mask the first time around.
Quiet! Quiet!
Well, we know how this goes.
No.
We just agitate this guy and bring him down. Originally, we would get the mask from him. I have no idea what we'll get this time.
No. Voices. I can't.
He's being driven insane by the root.
Destroyer, he sees you.
And there is no way to interact with him peacefully unless we just leave.
It's always watching. No. I don't wanna. Don't you make me. No.
I mean, poor guy, but he opened fire on us. Here we go. So we get experience just for fighting him, even though, of course, we don't get anything in place of the mask, I don't believe. Maybe it gave us some additional scrap or something like that, but nothing major. Sort of disappointing we didn't get a full dungeon here, but there is plenty of scrap and other goodies to collect just in this one little room. So, easy XP, some easy materials, not gonna complain. Well, not gonna complain much, at the least. No way for us to get back there, so I think that is literally it in this little area. Oh, back out we go! So let's hope we can find something that'll allow us to interact with the Obelisk deeper in. Because Junktown obviously didn't have anything. That mini-boss is called the Mad Merchant, but I don't believe there's any way to pacify him and trade with him peacefully. Not like most merchants in this game have a whole lot worth purchasing anyway, aside from once in a blue moon, like once per planet and armor set. They'll give you status effect ameliorating items, and once in a while, like a unique healing item, such as that jerky that the Houndmaster offered us, but nothing to, like, lose your mind over. I have to say, this would normally be exactly the type of aesthetic I despise, used for Earth tile set, I mean. You know, broken, post-apocalyptic, dreary ruins. But something about the autumnal colors favored by the root, the reds and the oranges, once in a blue moon like a yellow, sharp gold, really do give it a different feel altogether, and one that I find a bit more pleasant than your typical post-apocalyptic nightmare hellscape. So we can rest here at the Cryptolith. Brilliant name. Can we maybe smash some boxes? No, we cannot. And out here, find just more tomahawk throwers and archers, it looks like. For solo runs, at least, I may want to invest some trait points in Shadow Walker, since it'll reduce the effective range at which enemies can detect us. Coupled with a reasonably long-range weapon, such as this, or any of the variants on the sniper rifle concept we've seen so far, that could actually allow for some pretty easy clearing of overworld areas. Which, if I'm gonna end up running each of these maps several times to get everything, which I probably will, might be pretty handy. Not so much for survival, just for convenience. Scrap, scrap, scrap. Galvanized iron. Good. Are there any upstairs? Doesn't look like it, but it sounds like there's a ton of them outside. Ah, hardened iron. That's what we wanted. And some frenzy dust. Not too common seeing it just laying around the overworld, but glad to see it. Speaking of, even more hardened iron, that's the good stuff. Anything in this little courtyard? Yes, a chest. Scrap and iron, I'll take it. Our coffers are going to be overflowing with scrap by the time we're done tonight, and I am not bothered by that in the least. do we miss over here? Just a little bit of scrap. How much do we have, by the way? 17,556. Yeah, that's enough for a few upgrades. Anybody roaming around down here? I can hear the root soldiers moaning and kind of wheezing, but it's very difficult to locate the direction from which the sound comes. Ah, here we go. Pretty sure that's one of them I heard. Hey Val, Val says I'm roaming around in chat, I guess. Hold on. If you would like, you're welcome to join me in voice chat. Just say the word and I'll start streaming to Discord. Glad to see you. And hope all's been going well. Ah, there's the good stuff. That says I'll hop in voice chat in a little bit, getting through a cigarette. Alright, no problem. I'll just go ahead and get it set up over there. Eclipse, you're welcome to join us as well if you would like. Though I understand it's pretty late for you, so no pressure. Did you get your Skyrim up and running, Eclipse? All your mods still working? Let's see. What are we up against? Just more Tomahawk throwers. Alright. Alrighty. Says, I got a lot of it done. Still deciding what else to put in. Again, the only mods I really followed to any extent were Moonpath to Elsewhere, which is great. And then the one that added, or was planning to add, several quest lines based around journeys to Daedric Realms. I don't know how far along it got. I think it was called, like, And the Realms of Oblivion, or something to that extent. That says, I can hopefully provide insight into some of the things you may see and get. I'm currently experiencing a crisis regarding my new job. Oh no! Is everything alright? Eclipse says, and the Realms of Daedra? I think that might be it. If that's what you're seeing, yes.
Won't fit.
It won't fit. Well, it looks like I've been just a little too efficient with management of my Spitfire. Also, good God, I forgot how large the Earth map is in comparison to, say, your average ROM map, which is about half as large. It also says everything's still on track, it's more of a mental block of sorts. Alright, well, if there's anything we can do to help you hash it out, or just hanging out in voice chat would take your mind off of it, feel free to let us know. You know what? With this Earth environment and how much I prefer the beautiful autumnal forest here to your typical post-apocalyptic setting, and how much I prefer the route to your average parasitic zombies, this is even a better version of The Last of Us. Remnant, you do so many things other games tried for, just a little bit better. Good job, you! I've been staying busy at work all day, so I wasn't thinking about it. I got you. Oh, looks like an archer's in town. Yep. gracious, these things are fast. There we go. Is there another, though? No, just some of these fellas. It says, wait, it's a workshop mod? Damn, impressive for a workshop mod. If it's the one I'm thinking of, yes. It's been ages since I've checked in on it, but you're absolutely right that it would be impressive by the standards of the workshop. A lot of those are, I don't want to say bad, because the quality of the workshop mods, at least the ones I recall, wasn't low or anything, just their conceits were usually, since they were often, at least in the early days, dictated by Bethesda, pretty simple. Pretty simple, I think, would be the best way to describe them. Okay, come on. So I guess there's going to be one dungeon to the east and one to the north. Eclipse's workshop just has a lot more limitations. That is true. So it may not be the one I was thinking of then, but the name sounds similar enough. Okay, it's sewer time. Let's see who will be up against this go-round. Also, it's difficult to rationalize I'll be working less hours, a less difficult position, and I'll be making at least 20k more than I do now. But that's, at least to my mind, a good thing, especially if you're going to be in a field you'll enjoy more. It could just be, as is often the case, the position you're in right now has been critically undervalued, you know? Eclipse says, did you go to different Daedric realms chasing the remains of a guy who tricked 3 Daedra? Yes! Yes! That's the one! And Val says it seems like there should be a catch. I would say be aware, but be maybe a little cautious, but generally just enjoy the ride for now. There might not be a catch. Probably won't be. Again, if it's a different field. This may be Shroud again. Which is fine. I don't mind. Shroud's apparently very, very easy as a single player. Clip says, okay, unfortunately, said mod is not available for the special edition. Oh, that's a shame. They must have discontinued support for it or something somewhere along the way. Val says, maybe the catch that I worked on learning this stuff for like 6 months. Right! The entry floor is pretty high. That's the case for a lot of IT jobs, man. I love how deep these little critters' voices are. They've got like the vocal cords and builds of koala bears. Jesus Christ. Yep, pretty sure. Well, no, if it were Shroud, we'd be seeing, its fetishes around, right? Oh, got an archer. Oh, no, this is the mortar variant. The one with the explosive projectiles. Also says that hammer's doing work. Yeah, a second present from the Claviger.
Oh, it's over.
It's about as fast as my scrap saber and twice as strong. And it's got this neato little AoE attack, which I don't mind at all. Hardened iron, thank you. But says seeing Brady using a hammer is just weird, though. I know, but it's because, unlike Dark Souls and so many Souls-likes, this game didn't just randomly make any weapon slightly bigger than or more blunt than a scimitar weigh 30 tons. So, like, look, hold on. Let me demonstrate for you really quickly. Scrap saber? This fast. Very nice, very fast, decent radius on its attacks. The World Breaker Hammer. Not much slower now, is it? It has slightly lesser range with all but its charged attack, but I don't think that really matters. Now, for the most part, if I'm playing Remnant, I don't really use my melee weapons, but this dungeon is specifically designed to encourage such, with all of these things, tumbleweeds. Hey, free ammo box. That's a real treasure. Jesus, they're just bouncing off of each other. I love it. They're like weaponized tribbles from Star Trek. Oh, see something purple down there. Another ring. Oh, chain gunner. That might actually be dangerous. Correction, that is dangerous. Get back. Take some rads. Take some rads. Take some rads. Ooh, that mod saved my bacon again.
Oh, it's over.
Very happy to see that. Ah, and a skill tome! How lovely. Now says those chain gunners are no joke. Yeah, they're one of, if not maybe the toughest root variant, or root unit I've encountered in the game thus far. Find a corner to peek and spray. Yeah. They have a weak point, it's just very difficult to hit consistently. Because it's not so much the head as one eye. Pillar of stone. Okay, what do you do? Reduces recoil by 30% and weapons weight by 60%. Standing aim movement speed is increased by 50%. Good lord! That's very, very good. If I weren't so set in my ways with my current loadout, I may well equip that. The root done tore up everything. Trees, buildings, machines, but they ain't touched the bedrock. Be the damn rock, kid. It's great advice. Thank you, item description, I shall. That's a really good little bauble, actually. Wow. As is a mother's ring. Oh, I love that they gave me a laser rifle that isn't super weak. Looking at you, 90% of sci-fi shooters. This is back at the old PC. Right on.
Come on.
I have all of one weapon that... Oh, it's you. Hi. No way to get those blades out of the way, is there? Oh, okay. How about fire? Yeah, fire does the trick. That says Fallout, for instance. Oh, yeah, right? I mean, to be fair, at least they gave you really good plasma weapons from the Enclave. I wouldn't mind having one of those swords. Here they come. Vent. Even with our quick hands perk maxed out, this thing has a pretty hefty reload time, which I mean makes sense given that the magazine's so large. Hardened iron, very good, very good. It says the sword guys are also a definitive threat among the root enemy types. They are. Actually, so are the enhanced tumbleweeds. You know, the blackened ones with a more defined shell and, like, spiky brambles poking out above their heads. The ones with the red eyes, I guess I should say. That would be their most definitive characteristic. They're weak, yes, but do a lot of damage if you allow them to get in close, unlike these guys.
That all you got?
Crowd control is more or less... Whoa, that's... Oh, wow, they actually killed me, lord. That's surprising. Not a big deal, though. Not a big deal at all. I think this might ultimately spit us out in a brand new boss arena. I think if it's in the sewers and it's a new boss I haven't seen, it's going to be an enhanced brute. The root rot detonators are pretty nasty as well, but unless they spawn right next to you, as that last one did, they're not much of a threat. Val says that'll be it. I think so, because if we were fighting Shroud, we would have already seen its idols scattered about throughout the sewer, and if we were fighting the Bandit King, obviously, we would have been fighting Mud Dogs instead of these delightful little tumbleweeds. We have one weapon that can afflict enemies with root rot, but it's unfortunately, even though it's really good, it's another one of those one-shot mag affairs. Now it says, with a melee-themed dungeon, the boss is actually ranged-focused. It's actually pretty smart they encourage you to save your ammunition. Yeah, smart and very generous in terms of design. I should be present in and streaming to Discord as well, by the way. So, yeah, all that's set up. That's as generous for a Souls-like. Yeah, and again, I shouldn't say generous, rather I should say fair. Because too many Souls-likes, again, as we've discussed in the past, seem to directly correlate difficulty with quality, in keeping with a small but very, very vocal subset of the Dark Souls fandom. Often to the detriment of overall gameplay design, I would argue.
Hello.
Howdy. Yeah, at least on normal, this game seems to understand, and I really appreciate it. More harder is not more better. Now, the hard difficulty's perfectly fine outside of boss battles, I've found. It's actually a great challenge.
Definitely very balanced.
I get the feeling the last two difficulties are nightmarish, though.
Something Eclipse would want to run.
Yeah, what's the last one called? Like Armageddon or something?
I think so.
That sounds about right.
Something to do with
Eschatology.
the world.
Okay, so I would say I hear one of the big ones, but it's actually the tumbleweeds that make those deep guttural noises, I have to remember. Which is hilarious.
It really is.
Root rot. When infected, random fits of coughing will interrupt your actions. So I'm guessing that does nothing to enemies if we afflict them with it?
I don't believe so unless you get human enemies.
Okay.
So things on ROM and
the mud dogs
the
here.
human bandit mud dogs.
Although, if they survive an attack that would inflict them with root rot, I'd be surprised. They're super frail. Not like I'm complaining or anything, but... I got the Bandit Kings mod, but I've not tried it out yet. Is it any good, like the shrapnel shot?
I don't ever really, I don't ever kill the Bandit Kings.
Really? You give him the pocket watch for the
I trade
armor?
him for the pocket watch. Yeah.
Now,
The armor's actually really good.
If I was to trade that in, would I be able to re-roll Earth, find Mudtooth again, and get another pocket watch?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's so cool. I love that about this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it follows into the kind of parallel timelines kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. Woo! Okay, hi, yes.
I am trying out the Outer Worlds.
Ooh, is it your first time playing?
Yep.
You have to let me know what you think. I was a big fan.
Obsidian makes great RPGs.
They do.
I'm very excited for the one that they have in development, Avowed. Obviously, because that's the one that takes place in the Pillars of Eternity universe.
Oh shit, yeah, the first person one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm so excited for that, because Pillars of Eternity is one of my favorite RPGs of all time.
Mm-hmm. And as far as I can see, they actually make the magic system look really good and actually believable for casting.
So they've already given us better, better Fallout.
Now we're getting better Elder Scrolls.
Godspeed, Obsidian.
Hell yeah, love Obsidian. They've given us better Fallout. Effectively, New Vegas in space.
Yeah.
Which is Outer Worlds. I always get those two confused.
I know, right? Outer Wilds is really good too.
It didn't help that they came out at roughly the same time. So you look at YouTube, and all of the main gaming clicks are either playing the Outer Wilds or the Outer Worlds, and you may accidentally click on one or the other that you weren't intending on. And then the Outer Worlds get spoiled for you, and you can't play it anymore. But yeah, I'm very, very excited about Obsidian's take on the Elder Scrolls.
Howdy, Lady Underjoyed. Good evening, ma'am. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us. She says, doing some games, so in and out. How's your week started? Very good so far, thank you. I have some very minor spot edits to make on my thesis, and then apparently we are ready for showtime. What games are you playing this evening, may I ask? Whew. These mortar-based enemies are really dangerous if they connect, but that's actually a big if, because, help me out here, Val, I think they're even less accurate deliberately than the baseline archers.
I do believe that is the case, especially with them throwing a bunch of mobs at you.
Like, they aim slightly to the side of the player, hoping to wedge an arrow in the terrain near them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you, Lady Underjoyed. I appreciate the enthusiasm. I'm super glad to be hopefully done with grad school for a bit, anyways, before I go on to a PhD program, and in a spot where I can teach for a while. Okay, boss time. I think this is going to be, what's its name? Gorefist? The elite brute? Something like that. Lady Android says, I was playing Dead by Daylight. Oh, righteous. The mid-chapter release came out today after some scandal stuff this weekend with the last chapter, Hellraiser, and now it's been down all evening. Oh, yikes. Now I'm installing Borderlands. The first one? I've played through all of the first and most of the second. I had some issues with some Borderlands 2 DLC, both from a narrative and gameplay perspective, but I loved most of the main game in Borderlands 2, and almost everything from the first.
The main game in Borderlands 2 and Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep are probably the only things worth playing in the second one.
She says, yes, the first. Right on. Oh, the Grinder. Yeah, this is gonna be the elite melee boss, I think. So one I haven't fought yet.
Yeah,
okay.
I believe his augment gives you a Thorns protection.
Alright, not bad. The Interdroid says Pot wants to replay them, and that's one of his favorite games, so we're gonna try and go sequentially. Beautiful! Is it your first time playing through? Okay, let me take a sip of my drink. Since the store was out of Diet Pepsi, my soda of choice at present is Diet Sunkist, a disturbingly orange, vaguely orange-flavored soda that's actually been a favorite of mine ever since I was a child. Lady Android says, yes, but I know of Claptrap. Well, I hope you enjoy the game. Environmentally, it's a little drab. The first one, anyhow, until you get to the DLC. But the gameplay's rock solid, and one thing I like about Borderlands, I will say, this sounds so weird, like, to pick out as one of your favorite points about a franchise, right? But haptically, and, like, in terms of visual presentation, the guns actually feel really punchy in a way that they don't in a lot of other looter shooters. Okay, let's get destroyed. This is the boss that can spawn instead of Shroud in a game world. You get one or the other, you do not get both.
Wish you had gotten.
Yeah. Gorefist, the Skullcrackers, so it's going to hit a little bit harder. Okay, roll through. And get ready for ads at some point. Yep, I can hear the exploders already. Great! I was knocked down. That's not good. Whoa, Lord! So, Lady Android says it's in gun recoil or power. I would actually say it has mostly to do with the aesthetics associated with weapons and gunfire in Borderlands. It's difficult to explain, but Valve, you've played before.
Yes.
Each individual shot of a weapon, especially those that are semi-auto, is accompanied by a really loud, satisfying snap a lot of times, and they will deal significant damage to enemies, have a decent chance of staggering them, and there is visual recoil, like you'll see your character's hands flying back, but oftentimes your aim will not be significantly maladjusted.
Yeah, the recoil only, I guess, really affects you if you're aiming down sight. Because occasionally, especially with the brand Jacobs.
Oh, I love Jacobs weapons.
Love Jacobs. They do have a lot of recoil, and they start to fall off later in the game. Unless you get legendary variants.
There's actually one brand, I believe this only applies in Borderlands 2, Lady Underjoyed, so it may not be directly applicable to the campaign you're playing right now, that actually reduces weapon recoil the longer you sustain continuous fire. Hyperion. They're trash, but it's an interesting...
Very trash.
But it's an interesting gimmick.
The only guns that have Hyperion that are actually good are SMGs.
Mm-hmm, yes.
And shotguns. Shotguns, it doesn't matter. SMGs, obviously you're going to be doing a lot of bursting. If you really want to let on the trigger, you should get a Hyperion SMG.
Indeed, indeed.
For Borderlands 1, sniper rifles, pistols, Jacobs brand, there's a lot of visible recoil, like he said. The reticle itself doesn't move that much. It doesn't expand a whole lot. And of course it takes a second for it to reset itself. And then...
And there we go.
The perk with Jacobs weapons is that they can... It doesn't matter how fast... Or it doesn't matter how long your gun would normally take to reset itself. You can just mash the trigger button, and it will fire as quickly as you can.
And please let us know if you'd rather not be spoiled even on mechanics or anything like that. Because I would hate to ruin the experience. And she says, the other game I keep flirting with playing is Fear 2. Only played it a bit at a friend's when it came out, and I was terrified. So I'm still kind of wanting to play it, but it's probably not a nighttime game for me. I understand perfectly. I love watching, like, deep dive analysis video essays of, like, dark web series, like, short ARG-related horror fiction on YouTube. It's like popcorn to me. But since I'm living alone, it's something I have to be kind of careful about late at night, so I don't just terrify myself. She also says, Hyperion makes me think of Cypher in Final Fantasy VIII, and oh no, I like learning lots of things, just not plot. Gotcha! So, Jacob's guns are really cool to me because visually, at least in I believe, Val, it's not until the Borderlands 1 DLC, but officially Borderlands 2, where individual corporations give their guns their own visual language that's consistent throughout, right? But Jacob's weapons are based on, like, classic Wild West film weapons. And so they still have at least an artificial wood grain and old-fashioned metal scopes. They're really, really cool. Hyperion guns are distinguished by a sleek, golden design, and usually really, really low quality. My personal favorite weapons... Trim. And I don't believe they appear with uniform characteristics until Borderlands 2, are Torg Weapons. Distinguished by a loud, kind of garish, checkered black and white paint job, and the ubiquity of explosive gyrojet rounds. No matter what type of weapon, no matter what the mods, everything explodes. And
arguably that manufacturer arguably contains one of the best legendaries in the game, called
maybe the best,
the Unkempt Herald.
Yes, and it also it's also tied to several of the best characters in the franchise that we won't go into detail on. Lady Android says, I study lots of facts about games I'm playing. Guess that's my MMO min-max WoW player holding on. No, that's a good style. Very efficient and very, very good at ameliorating pain for oneself in advance. She says, I crunch YouTube on data and facts for Dead by Daylight and cooking. And Mr. Torg? Yes. Yeah, the Torg Corporation. There's also, God, I forget its name, but I highly recommend a manufacturer from the second game that specializes in advanced elemental guns. Maliwan, I think. Maliwan. Yeah, they're super rare, but they're really, really good.
Arguably. Most Maliwan guns actually fire 2 rounds per shot, so they're not very good with ammo conservation.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But they do pack quite a punch, more often than not. Usually the best ones are SMGs and...
assault rifles.
Help me out. Assault rifles, and I guess SMGs also kind of fall into that. Because the more hits you do, the higher chance the elemental effect is going to proc.
Also, I think they may be exclusive to Borderlands 1, but can't you get, like, Scarlet Armory guns at a certain point in the game?
I think so?
And I will tell you right now, they are obscenely good across the board. They're meant to be, like, the elite manufacturer, and you can tell. I love, it's very rare, right? But I love in games, kind of like in Remnant, with each faction producing their own weapons, where you can tell what faction produced a certain weapon, not only by its visual appearance, so its visual language, but also by certain traits that are ubiquitous to that faction's output. I think things like that are super cool, personally, as a lore nerd. Such as in... oh god, what was I thinking of? Mass Effect 1 and 3, where each manufacturer has unique weapons and armor that are kind of ubiquitous across the board, right? A personal favorite of mine, though you can only get a couple weapons from it in Mass Effect 1, is the Geth Armory, which just has the best gear. Leonard Android says, I like knowing timing and stats. It helps me focus better on what I'm doing in-game. I get ya. I'm much the same way. At least when it comes to knowing what I can get and how at a given time. What do you do? Well, first things first, let's go get our new mod from Gorefist by turning in the flesh barb. The root's baleful hums and indecipherable whispers fill you with fear and despair. Even their splinters whisper in the dark. Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds like so much fun. Though, if you saw, on that second attempt, as soon as I managed to get myself out of a corner, we just rinsed it. I can imagine, on a brand new character, even on normal though, that boss can be kind of difficult to come to grips with.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with the constantly spawning explosive enemies.
I will say, even on normal, even though I'm trying to be so kind to this game because I love it so much, I do wish there were fewer bosses that were purely reliant on ads. I do wish that. We did find one, finally, from the Swamps of Courses DLC that wasn't reliant on ads as such because it cloned itself. The Flickering Horror, which is a really cool fight.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was very challenging for me, and I'm pretty sure it drove Potato straight up the wall. Poor guy. You know which boss I'm talking about, Val?
I don't think I fought him, but I fought the
regular variant?
the boss that I fought first time in the Swamps of Corsus was the
Let's have a look.
the Butcher.
Oh, Shrek!
Yeah. Yeah.
Later says, lol, no more than when we do when he DMs. Oh! Have you heard that odds are good that I'll be able to join your campaign before too long? Which may or may not be good news. Mantle of Thorns. Reduces melee damage taken from enemies by 20%. Reflects 120% of melee damage taken. And reduces stagger on hit. I feel like situationally dependent on the faction you're going up against, that could be really good. Like, on Corsus, or against the Root. Yes, Lady Underjoy, there will be 150% more fish puns in your campaign. Fear me.
Oh, traveler.
I mean, so you know, I've offered to, come up at 3 a.m. to be on their time schedule. Oh, dear. To be up at 3 a.m. Oh, dear. Okay, I mean, hell, I'll be on vacation for a couple weeks.
What do you need?
Yay. Let's reinforce this beam rifle because I have hardened iron now. So, is this the weapon you got from Shrek, Val? The Devastator?
Yes.
How is it? I've heard people say it's very good.
It is good situationally. It does only have one in the magazine, but if I recall correctly, that's the one that does kind of like a spray?
I believe it's a single bolt that happens to be especially broad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here, let me take a look and show you. Real quick, we've got 4 trait points. Let's spend those probably on handling.
By the by, I think that you should both check out the bunker a little bit more. Because there are some things that I believe you can unlock at this point.
Well, we've got the SMG from it. Dancing Pot showed us to that almost immediately. It's this weapon. See, it's 1 bolt, I think. Oh no, sorry, it fires 4 flechettes.
A 5 flechette spray.
Yeah. Have no idea what that had to do with Shrek, but okay. Late Underdog says, I kind of wish I'd brought my half-drow ranger over from Bad Eyesight's campaign that went on hiatus. Oh yeah, I miss him. Good old Marcus. I hope he's doing well. She says I really loved her, so I didn't.
To him because I believe.
I don't
sorry
know.
To cut in. He just kind of disappeared.
He was having some IRL difficulties, I think. She says, didn't put as much into the backstory and research on my druid, but I'm slowly working on a vengeance paladin to keep in a character folder. Right on. I'm going to need extensive assistance from Potato in actually transferring my character over into D&D, because the system we were using is super different and way more simple.
Oh, traveler.
Superhero Fish Mage is about as far as I got.
So long.
I should say terrible Superhero Fish Mage, sorry. So something I think that's super cool is that using a Veer-produced mod, or I should say a mod, transforms the physical appearance of a weapon, even if that weapon is produced by the same faction. That's really neat. It says, Side and, H4 MM32 are how I met Pot. And yeah, I suck at the Roll20 stuff, but everyone's been patient with me. That's fantastic, because I promise you, I will be worse. I will be worse. That's just... Really, that should be my motto in life, I think. Don't worry, I'm worse.
terrible.
She says, I kind of want to ask if we could use cams for D&D, because there's something I miss about sitting around a table. Right? Well, feel free to. I would be down for it. And not true. Trust me. Trust me. 2 years
I feel
of
like that's my motto.
2 years of near complete isolation have driven me borderline insane. But just borderline. It's fine.
Only
You're a boss.
borderline.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. I do appreciate that. I just need some more time in the classroom. That's whence I derive my true confidence. Not in the least because I have essentially a captive audience for my terrible stand-up. I wouldn't be the only the only instructor at my school who does that, so. Okay, so I suppose all that's left is the world boss, meaning this poor monolith is going to go uninteracted for this run? Poor heart.
Unfortunate.
I assume, Val, right? Like, we would have found an item that we could use to interact with this thing.
Yes.
Alright.
That, I think, requires something called a root mask.
Oh!
Honestly, in all of my playthroughs, I haven't found it myself.
You mean this?
No. Yeah, then just wear that, and
Wait.
I believe you can talk to it.
No, you're thinking of the tree. The
Okay,
wandering
okay.
tree. Which has not shown up. It's something
let
similar,
me-
I think, but it's like a giant, glowing, largely stationary root being that is friendly.
Yeah, do you mind if I see what you're talking about really quick? I was tabbed out and into
Sorry.
the game.
Oh, the object, you mean? Like,
Yes.
in the world. This thing. It's called a cryptolith. Which is super cool. It looks like, based on its architectural motifs, it comes from the same place as the labyrinth.
Oh, okay. I actually have not seen that before.
Oh, sick! Well, we're learning together!
Wow. It looks like it's going to require 3
3 items.
cores almost.
Okay, yeah. Don't look it up if you don't know yourself, and spoil it for me. But yeah, I was just wondering if you knew, like off the top of your head.
I did not.
Okay, so let me think. Something else I potentially wanted to point out. No, never mind. Sorry, it is late. So after this, we'll roll up ROM.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. I need to charge my smartwatch.
Right on.
The watch that I have has such an incredibly long battery life. I constantly forget to charge it. I have to charge that thing only like once a month.
Oh man, that's amazing.
Wild.
I was about to say, I have a similar experience, or have so far, with this headset, but it only holds like maybe 10 hours. Okay.
Yeah, this thing
Who did we
lasts. This thing lasts the better part of about 27 days off of one charge.
That's amazing, and it's like a smartwatch, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I mainly just use it for notifications, but it has fitness options. It's got, obviously, timers, etc.
Lady Android says, I think long batteries can make it harder, because I too forget if it's not a daily activity. I feel that applies to everything except those devices for which long use sessions may be preferable, like handhelds, back when those were still a thing. I'm actually kind of glad that handheld game systems aren't much of a thing anymore, because really, this is just me now. It's a personal preference, so I don't speak from an objective or a purported objective standpoint as like a critic. If I'm playing a video game, or, I don't know, reading a book through a digital format or something like that, I'd much rather sit down for a long session with a higher fidelity on whatever device I'm using, instead of, like, get in several short sessions. But that's because my attention span is such that I get distracted very, very easily if the prospect or the encouragement of short sessions exists. You know, it says looks at DS and Game Boy Color on desk. Yes, they both have Pokemon on them. Right on. The DS Pokemon games, now I've only heard, because aside from, I think, playing a bit of maybe Diamond on a friend's console I borrowed, I have no experience, first-hand experience. The DS Pokemon games I've heard are very, very good.
They are. My favorite, obviously, Platinum. Mainly because they allow you to go back to the Kanto and Johto regions once you complete the initial story.
Leonard Joy says, "Oh yeah, I have Pearl on the DS. I think that might have been the one I played.
Diamond or Pearl, doesn't really
One or the
matter.
other. No. And Color has Crystal. Nice.
Oh, I miss Crystal.
Our buddy Viper has actually made several Pokemon-themed tracks, which has led people to suggest that a Pokemon hack, probably for like the second gen, be made in homage to him. Pokemon Crack White. Okay, so it's the Ashard. It's gonna be the dragon again, meaning I have to shoot its tail off for a second weapon. That's okay. Brother Brady can do it.
It's gonna be great.
Brother Brady probably can't do it.
You are really gonna like it. This will be an enjoyable experience.
I love the design of this thing, and to be honest, its boss theme is really solid. Sounds like something you'd hear in one of the Marvel movies.
Absolutely banging.
It says, I forget what Pokemon I picked Pearl for, and nephews deleted my completed Pokedex on Crystal, and most Pokemon were max level. I was beyond mad. Oh, I bet. That's awful.
Very angry. I hate when people screw with your save files on those games.
Yeah,
They
that's...
really, convinced me to trade them my starter Pokemon in Soul Silver, just to fill out his Pokedex.
No, no.
Lo and behold, he just kept it and left.
Oh, God, that's awful.
Yep, so I restarted my save file and said, fuck you.
I can't say I've ever had a game stolen from me, but I think people have deleted my save files before.
It was just my primary favorite starter.
Oof.
So he didn't, physically take the cartridge from me, but he took something very valuable from me. So once again, just restarted my save and went from there.
So, Val, I've also been told, I think it might have been by you, that actually breaking this thing's tail requires a downright humorous amount of damage to be done to it.
That is just a couple of things that I read online. They were essentially saying that they went through about 75% of the fight using strictly tail hits, and only after that 75% margin did the tail come off.
Ooh, yikes. The android says nephews were young, like shoot, they may have been 10. They enjoyed it, and now I can laugh. But there's that part of me that still wishes I could hashtag nerdflex with it. And what does he shoot out of his mouth? Napalm? Actually, I think so. See, I had just gotten, and Potato had for the entire playthrough up to this point, a flame mod for my weapon that I was super proud of, because I was like, yeah, now we're gonna be able to just body these wood-based enemies, and this was the first boss we encountered afterwards. Yeah. Yeah. The ads it spawns, the immolators, actually also have an inherent flame elemental affinity, and will, in fact, burst into flame themselves the second they take damage. Oh. Damn it all, I frankly and you can't even roll through its flames. In fact, yeah, let's just go ahead and die this time, because I have an idea for next time that I need to strategize for. I think the weapon you use may also affect the rate at which the tail will shatter, because it's probably closely tied to an enemy's stagger rate, or stagger chance, right? Like, think like poise. And this here broken microwave I'm using as a weapon has a very, very low stagger rate. Or I guess I should say inflicts relatively low poise damage. This, on the other hand, inflicts very high poise damage, and ironically, is a weapon I harvested from this boss.
Well, that's wild.
But we want a different weapon, or a different mod, sorry, if we actually want to get hits in on its tail. Val, I know it says it only affects weaker enemies, but I want to say I recall the this lore actually drawing Singe's attention. Does that sound right?
I didn't ever actually use the lure, and I barely got the chance to watch a little bit of you and Potato play against Discount Root Smaug.
Right. It's got a beautiful design, it truly does. So I guess I'll keep my Breath of the Desert in order to keep my sanity when ads appear. Okay, you're just right out the gate, ain't you? Alright, alright. Come on, let's rear up onto those hind legs, buddy. No, 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 no. Oh, I really should have used, the burning tonic for this, shouldn't I?
Yeah, this game definitely does feel like Fallout. New Vegas.
This world does, anyhow.
No, I'm talking about...
Outer World, sorry.
No problem. It definitely feels, behaves, acts, looks like New Vegas. You can tell Obsidian made it, I'll put it that way.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And they took a lot of lessons insofar as character and world building they may have learned from New Vegas. And their senior staff's time on even earlier Fallout entries into account.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go! Here we go! Oh, hell. This is actually going to be kind of tough to manage for a single player, I bet. Relatively speaking, of course, goodness gracious, if I was doing this on hard. Ugh. I do like, though, and this, friends, is how you do proper, respectful fan service. They included a dragon-type boss whose tail you could destroy for a weapon as kind of a knowing nod to Dark Souls. That's kind of cute, I think. Fire, no.
That's a lot of damage.
Indeed.
Let's make some more.
Ah, and it completely resists fire from the ads do from the SMG. And I did not know this. Apparently, even without the flamethrower mod, the bullets deal a bear a very, very light flame affinity. Interesting. So I have...
Is really good.
As it happens, I have built one of the absolute worst potential loadouts for this battle. Hashtag efficiency. Oh, there we go. Look, buddy, I just want to break your ass off and forge it into a magical weapon. Is that too much to ask, really? I don't think so.
There's no such thing as too much to ask.
Man, the reach of its fire breath attack is somewhat deceptive. It's longer than you would expect based on the visuals for the attack. So hold on, let me see. If my beautiful darling Spitfire isn't that good, how about my Defiler? My radioactive revolver. This might do. Give me just a second, friends. I'm going to run to the restroom and grab a new drink, as I am totally out. Be back in probably 3 minutes.
You're gonna make me entertain our guests.
BRB, yeah. In the meantime, enjoy this beautiful view of what looks like baby's first attempt at forging a handgun. Late Android says, sound safe, shooting radioactivity. Oh yeah, both of my weapons do. My hammer is also radioactive. Don't worry, it's fine. I have a cloth helmet. That will do.
Easily. Duh. Okay. So I'm just trying to figure out Outer Wilds here. Having a great time. Unfortunately, all the weapons that Brady has, I don't believe are gonna be able to do much of anything to this boss, especially his tail, which has a low stagger value assignment ratio, if I recall correctly. So it's a very, very, very difficult situation that he's in. Because while the sword that he's going to get from this is really good, unfortunately the the amount of effort he's going to have to put into it is definitely rough. If I were to pick any sort of weapon that would be good for it, I think I would have to choose possibly the sniper rifle or the hunter's pistol. The hunting pistol, I don't know if he's gotten yet. It is from a sub-dungeon on Earth. And it's actually a really good weapon. It can out-damage most primary weapons, interestingly enough. But it only has one shot to a internal magazine. Although that is more than enough to take out most enemies, especially with headshots. I think the overall ammo count that it has is about 30? I could be wrong. It was my go-to weapon in the game. When I played through it, carried me through the entire thing. But yeah, if he had that or potentially the sniper rifle. The problem with the sniper rifle is that being on console, it's very difficult to get the flick aim necessary for being able to hit that tail. So unless he had a shot lined up prior and then scoped in and took the shot, there's not a lot that can be done for that. But as for a very damaging weapon with a high stagger rate, sniper rifle would definitely do it. Aside from that, the hunter rifle is obviously going to be good. Let me think. Hunting rifle's good, especially with the ability to put down healing fields. Oh yeah, absolutely. If you can pick it up and play it on PC, I would definitely recommend it. And obviously, I'm more than welcome, or more than I'm more than willing to hop in and join.
There we are.
But I'm assuming you've got people to play with.
Lady Android says this does seem like a fun game, even if it has the Dark Souls challenge rating built into it, and I never played Dark Souls. Well, actually, I will explain it, or my experiences with it thusly. Lady Android, I think at this point you've seen more than enough of my streams to understand I don't want to say terribly...
Not elite gamer.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not the most proficient at Souls-likes. I'm not terrible or anything, but I am far from an expert. And, as I've said time and again, I'm not the world's biggest fan of extreme challenge for the pure sake of extreme challenge. If it's justified in the sense of being associated with a particular element of a game, like a late or post-game super boss like those Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts would always incorporate, then I think it's fine. But I like a nice, moderate challenge. I will tell you, in my experience... Sorry, just rocked the mic there, quite literally. This game, on its normal difficulty, there's 4 difficulty levels: normal, hard, I want to say nightmare, and apocalypse, something like that, or Armageddon. It's not terribly difficult. It is challenging, yes, but it's not excruciating or anything. I would say... I don't know about you, Val. Remnant is slightly less difficult than Dark Souls, probably on maybe the same level.
Slightly. If you've played any sort of cover shooter, such as Gears of War, anything like that, like over-the-shoulder cover shooter, it kind of plays like that. Everybody's just kind of given it a Dark Souls-like name because, oh wow, it has a stamina system and bosses.
Well, Dark Souls, or Souls-like, really defines a subgenre of action RPG and certain systems associated with the same, rather than difficulty anymore, which I think is a definite step in the right direction. I don't want this subgenre known more, or I guess in my mind defined more by, as Val said, beautiful intentional boss and enemy design, like intricate design of those types of encounters and opponents, and world building, and lots of opportunities for unique gear and player customization. Ooh, I love it so much. Rather than just sheer challenge. I like that. And Lady Underdroid says, oh man, I would not want Pot to watch if it was I was playing DS for the first time. I would shame him and all of his ancestors. Yes, his ancestors, who have played Dark Souls for untold centuries. I think you'd do great, though, if you have lots of experience. Well, actually, sorry, I'm going to step back. I think you'd do great, because the real spirit of these games is not about, usurping challenge with ease and then bragging about it for upvotes on the internet. No.
No, that's stupid.
At their heart, games like this, if designed well, and I think Remnant is one of the Souls-likes I've played that actually captures this spirit most easily and most thoroughly, is about exploration, learning, and applying whatever you learn through your exploration of systems, of your character, and of the world. And as an educator, I actually find that games like this encourage an appreciation of learning in patient players more than almost any other that have really bled through into the popular conscious in the past generation or so. And that's why I love them. She says, not with shooters. I did lots of ranged and melee and MMOs. Mobility and adaptation interest me, especially in boss fights. Right on. I'd say you'd really like this game then, because boss fights in particular draw a lot of inspiration from popular mechanics and MMO boss design.
If I may add to your previous sentiment, Dark Souls additionally is in essence a fairly straightforward game. The key thing about it doesn't have a difficulty slider.
Right.
And I think that's wonderful because they designed the game to be easy if you know what you're looking for. Or if you play it cautious and take your time. Because, you know, so many people have gone through the entire game without taking a single hit. At this point, I don't even know if it's an achievement anymore. But, that being said, pretty much every single trap and every single item gank, every single problem that you can encounter, aside from, you know, just basic combat stuff, which you will learn on your own, everything can be seen before it occurs. And if you explore, there are chances to find ambushes that you didn't know about. So, you know, you're walking through and you see a side path and decide to take it. At the end of that side path, let's say there's a little item reward, and, you know, you can see in the distance a group of like 4 enemies that are kind of crowding around the main path. And then you know what's coming.
Aye aye.
So you can prepare for it and ultimately come out on top after maybe 1 or 2 snafus.
Especially if they're enemies whose movesets you haven't memorized or haven't even seen yet, yeah.
And of course, also, to add further to that, every enemy moveset is also very, very telegraphed.
For the most part. Most
enemies have a pool of about 2 or 3 attacks that they use. Mainly due to the fact that they are, you know, brainless kind of zombie men.
Or animals.
If you hang back, keep your distance, you can basically bait out every single attack that they have and start to notice the tells of each of those attacks so that you know what time to dodge or block or parry, etc. And then of course, like, keeping in mind stamina management, some things that you will start to notice just through your regular playtime. Obviously...
Sorry.
No problem.
That's a great alt-fire.
If you're playing with a sword and shield, classic RPG weapon skill set, you may notice that as soon as you attack with your sword and put your shield up, your stamina starts to regenerate slower than if you had your shield down. So if you're not in immediate danger, drop your shield, gain your stamina back quicker. You'll get staggered a lot less. One of the only things that I find to be very disappointing is the amount of ranged options. Because even with probably the
non-magical ranged options, I would say.
Even the strongest contender for ranged options being magical, you still only have a limited number of charges for spells. And if you don't raise your attunement to a level where you can attune like 7 or 8 spells with a couple of duplicates, you're not gonna have enough souls, or you're not gonna have enough spells to get to the next bonfire.
That's true.
Spells are meant to be, at least it seems like, spells are meant to be a
supplement
to your melee combat.
Until,
The game
like,
was
New
designed
Game
to be-
Plus cycles.
Yeah, the game was kind of designed to be played melee first, above all else, and then everything in between is kind of like a tool in your toolbox. So archery is meant to be used to pull enemies from groups. Unfortunately, it's not meant to be a more defined playstyle. You're meant to be more like a ranger from the Lord of the Rings, and not really an archer.
That's a very good analogy, Val. I think that's very descriptive of the way they want you to play. At least in I would say in Souls 1 more than in 2 or 3. In 3, I felt like they actually took pains to make ranged and magical playstyles more viable early on.
But unfortunately, they neutered everything they did by making arrows, quills, all forms of ammo only be able to be carried up to 99.
And taking away the best and most entertaining school of magic, in my opinion, dark magic, or hexing.
Well, hexing got subsidized into other schools of magic. I do like that they added dark pyromancies.
That is
more
true.
Like dark pyromancies, aside from just black flame. Dark orb, one of the most powerful spells in the game. Or dark fireball, or whatever the hell it's called. One of the most powerful spells in the game, and only accessible through a pyromancy tree. And I just love that. Obviously, Black Flame doing physical damage for a physical spell. Well, all dark spells do physical damage, but having that be on a physical spell that comes out pretty much immediately, godsend. It will break any shield.
God damn! He's been hitting the gym because his ass is solid iron.
What a legend.
Also, is it true that I can, because I just noticed, I can roll straight through its fire balls, but not through the fire breath?
It seems to be the case, correct.
Alright, well, shorter range, fire breath, that makes sense. And I'm so sorry, I'm not caught up on chat, panicked as I am. I apologize, Lady Underjoyed. One
Lady
moment.
Underjoyed, let's see.
Right with you. Bye.
Move here, do this, has priority, but adapt and mechanic. Accordingly, if it misses timing with cooldowns, then wait until the next. If you get HP down with the hits, you can get it.
And that was clutch. Thank you, thank you.
Dodges.
She says I was a hunter in WoW. Gotta grab the mob on the outskirts and keep them from their friends. I like that. And she says, but Jeebus, how much HP does this guy have? Not as much as you'd think. I'm just
really,
trying to destroy the
Brady's
tail.
going for a very specific enemy type.
So, let me explain one of my favorite things about Remnant, okay? The game is based very heavily on replayability, because the big overworld we were exploring before we entered this instance is randomized in its layout and in the dungeons it incorporates every single time. Every single time you load up a new campaign or a new adventure. So the game's based around replayability, right? And to further incentivize this, many of its major bosses have 2 different spoils you can use to forge either weapons or mods. And which spoil you acquire depends on the method in which by which you dispatch the boss. In the case of this big nasty, there are 2 weapons you can forge from its spoils. One melee, one ranged, I believe, right, Val? Mm-hmm. And the little SMG I was using when I came in, the Spitfire, this neato little SMG that appears to have been literally overgrown by this parasitic plant life, is one of its weapons. Its ranged weapon you get the spoil for by defeating the boss by totally conventional means. If I wanted to kill this thing with the weapons and loadout I had right now, it would be, I don't want to say effortless, but it'd be pretty easy. Pretty easy. But what I want to do is shatter its tail. shatter its weird root-like tail to get a second spoil I can use to craft the melee weapon. And you can only get one. If I get that melee material, then I will be totally unable to get the material that I would have used to craft the Spitfire, which, to be clear, I cannot get another drop for as long as I have the Spitfire in my inventory. She says, I was wondering if I was seeing that with the fireballs, and oh man, how awful to not read chat while on a dragon fight. Well, hey, I try to be as present as I can for all of you guys, because you and everybody else in chat have been so incredibly wonderful to me during my time on Twitch, especially given that this has really been the only social interaction I've had with much of anybody outside of occasional calls from my immediate family during this time. Nearly 2 years of pandemic. So, you know, I try to repay that as best I can. It's the least I can do. You guys are my friends, truly, not just my audience. So, much respect. Let's see. We got one trait point. What do you think, Val? Handling helps. Handling does help. Because it reduces not just recoil, but also spread. Armor Piercer, I think, might be good down the line. Recovery? What do we think?
I think... Well, I don't know. Armor Piercing actually might help for this boss encounter.
As would Stamina Regen, I think, or Base Stamina, because he's having me roll all over the place. Lady Android says, always feel free to add if you want to do something off stream. I'm always down to do a co-op or chill in Discord. Right on! I appreciate that. Thank you so much, sister. I will keep that in mind. And likewise, PC or on console, if you want to co-op anything or just want an extra pair of hands on a project, or ears for anything, let me know. I'd be happy to. Or if you want someone to just provide guidance or feedback, if you want to try a Souls-like sometime, I'd be happy to. I'm sure, as you've seen on Ceph's and Potato streams. Yeah, absolutely. I am not the there is only one way to play these games types of person. I will not badger you into a certain play style or build. I joke.
Mr. Dex build.
We joke about that, but the origin of the Dex build, like superiority running gag, is that there is a very vocal portion of the Dark Souls fan base that insists only strength build, only heavy armor, only XYZ is the correct way to play. And I, Ceph, and Potato generally think that's ridiculous. So I will be more than happy to keep you company as you get to grips with it. And nag your ear off about the weird, multifaceted lore. There's only one aspect of the Souls lore that I think I'm the only person to have, like, developed a unique theory on, but I'm very, very proud of it. Inordinately proud of it, to be honest with you. She says, no, I was a feral druid and rogue Dex all the way, that's just my predisposition. I just like light builds in general.
I prefer lighter builds with heavier weapons.
I gotcha.
I am an absolute fucking weirdo.
Glass cannon.
My normal build is Zweihander, Pyromancy, and light armor. I normally go for style. Like, I dress like a rogue class.
I do appreciate there's at least very mild friendly fire here, because this boss has a very, very nasty tendency to just destroy its own ads. Oh yeah, buddy, chase me away and then leave me to the tree men. I see you, I see you. So, the boss having this flame affinity and being able to remain intact makes sense, because it's it takes the appearance of a tree, but Val, correct me if I'm wrong, these things are extra-dimensional invaders, right?
Yes.
They're not actually the plant life we're seeing here. They're like some kind of particles, like, animating them, or animating it.
It's kind of like spores.
Yeah, yeah.
So the red stuff that you see is actually what
yes, the root.
Yeah.
But the ads have no such excuse because there are essentially parasitized people under there, under those cloaks. How they handle the fire? Damn it. That... For once in a Souls-like, and I'm including the Dark Souls games themselves in this estimation, a fire breath attack that's actually dangerous to a player on the move. I knew they could do it. Jesus Christ. The ads here really are way more dangerous than Singe, because he's super slow most of the time. The internet says, so like, geez, Pot and I watched an anime while driving across Europe, and I'm totally blanking on the name. And she says, Dragon Int would be hella clutch. You say that, ma'am. The other world boss, so the other big final boss you could get on the Earth map, is called the Int, and it is a botanical take on the traditional depiction of Cthulhu. I love it. She says,
Int is...
Sorry for the cap's excitement. I mean, I want a Dragon Int on my team. Oh, man, that'd be great. So, speaking of, for my like D&D character, just as you were mentioning druidry earlier, which got me thinking, there is a malicious construct, like intelligent construct, in the Pathfinder universe that is essentially a golem constructed entirely out of electrical eels. And good God, I want that for my character. I want that as a summon. Give me Eel Golem. I forget what it's called, but I want it. Schwat. Yes, yes. Oh, no! Believe it or not, the ads can't, but this thing, Singe, the dragon, can take fire damage. Quite a lot of it, actually. I don't think it's resistant. Is it, Val? I don't think so.
I think it is very resistant to fire.
But we can still give it the fire stat. Oh lord, yeah, just this is a wash. Go ahead and take me out. Yeah. Idiot Android says, I'm down. That'd be insane. I'm a satyr druid, chaotic neutral. Right on. If you like satyrs, I think you're really gonna like the fourth world of this game. There's an entire species of them called the Pan that use, well, more or less... I've not seen them since I watched gameplay videos a couple years ago, but Val, I want to say, like, druidic magic, for the most part, like rune magic.
Yeah, essentially.
I'm sure it's explained away as some kind or another of advanced technology, given Remnant's interesting world building, but still, they're really cool. I want to say their leader is just simply called the Totem Father or something. Or one of their leaders.
It's been a hot minute.
Fucking hell. Potato and I will get to show you the Pan on stream if we ever manage to get past Ixilus the 15th/16th. Oh, I'm playing like ass. Hold on. Yeah, I think I'm playing too aggressively now. This thing... What were you going to say?
There is a mini dungeon on Earth that, if I recall correctly, gives you probably the best pistol in the game. It's called the hunting pistol. It is one shot
single
fire.
shot. Yep.
That might be really good. That or the sniper rifle.
Inflicts heavy damage affected from mid to long range. The only thing I'm thinking of with the Defiler, though, is each shot fires multiple projectiles.
If it goes based on stagger potential,
Yeah.
the sniper rifle and the hunting rifle, or the hunting pistol, would actually be possibly better than multiple hits, because odds are high the way they balanced it.
Hunter's pistol, maybe with the rattleweed to keep the ads off of me while I work
Yeah,
on him.
If they program the way I think, or program the game the way I think they did,
Okay.
the shotgun pistol would only have a small amount of stagger damage on each pellet. So if you get a full blast in, yeah, great. But if you don't, and of course this boss is highly encouraging you to stay alone. Obviously that's going to be a little bit of an issue.
Good call. Good call. That's very perceptive, actually. Thank you. Lady Android says I don't tend to pick shelf races, which is probably cliche in itself. So I've never... Sorry, I played D&D for all of 2 or 3 sessions with a group of friends, or I should say 2 of my friends and then several of their friends, who unfortunately didn't seem to take it super duper seriously. Like, and I don't mean like the game and the role playing and all of that. I mean like they weren't super invested in even playing a campaign. They just wanted an excuse to hang out after work, which I thought was totally fine, right? But the DM they got, oh lord, he took it way too seriously and tended to delight in punishing and antagonizing his players. He was one of those DMs, you know?
Yeesh.
What I call an antagonistic DM. I'm sure there's a more, like, colloquial name for them. But he was very knowledgeable and was able to teach me the mechanics quite well, but then just, like, slapped the ever-loving hell out of his party, which I wasn't super fond of. I played an elf, I think. I would love to play a more unorthodox race, though.
I, at one point, played a changeling, which was very fun for role-playing, especially with my range of vocal skill.
No, yeah, you're very talented with impressions and accents. I can't do many whatsoever. Let me see. Okay, so Hunter's Pistol, we're gonna want to improve this. Maybe at least to like a +10, would you say?
Yeah, the Hunter's Pistol, while it does a lot of damage on its own, definitely could stand to be upgraded.
Let's keep going, actually. Galvanized iron. I'm not gonna use any hardened iron on this thing, because it's going right back in the box when we're done. But yeah, look at that. +15, 262 damage, more damage than anything else I have.
Yeah. Yeah, that pistol is very good. I was talking to chat while you were gone, and I was kind of explaining my strategy for what I would do to get the tail drop.
Okay, so you'd use this or the sniper rifle, not both,
that,
right?
Or the sniper rifle, not both, so that you can
actually
focus
kill
on
it.
the ads.
And actually kill the thing when it's done.
Well, that isn't so much of an issue. It's really just keeping the ads off of you.
Let me see. Armor piercer, we said. It's very minor, but an additional percentage, ultimately up to +20, that could help. And maybe, let me see, might want to drink some, or use, not drink, some hydro coolant before the run to build up that fire resistance, right?
Drink.
Maybe by the time we're done with this, I'm gonna want to drink some hydro coolant.
Right.
Let's see, let's see.
Drinking coolant, everybody. Not something you should do at home.
No, we are trained professionals.
I am a trained professional.
Also, just to show it off here once again, Notice that since I applied a root-derived mod to this pistol, it is now overgrown with bark
I love
and
that.
root pustules. I love it as well! I wish more games did this. I wish more games were like this. I wish these games actually sold well enough to get more than 2 titles in this franchise.
It is unfortunate.
Well, we don't know that the franchise is dead, to be honest. Like, Chronos released, what, this year?
Yeah, I think so.
And I think it, in terms of reviews, did well enough. Like 7s, 7.5s, 8s.
Mm-hmm.
I'd know nothing about it, though. I have my copy right across the room. I can't wait to sink into it. Oh, hold on. Before this next attempt, I'm going to have to take my Lantus, my 24-hour insulin. Be right back. I'll be right across the room, so...
Okay. I don't have to entertain people. Yay!
I'll probably be running for another hour or so. No, don't swing the radioactive hammer yet. There's
He's
a time
trying.
for everything.
He's doing his best.
So, Val, I have a quick question for you about the game, since I wouldn't know. I had somebody in chat who seemed very knowledgeable tell me the other day that in their experience, which was some time ago, the Akari armor, which we're wearing, this super, super light, like kind of Bedouin's armor, was effectively useless, even upgraded. Would you say there's any validity to
Yes.
that?
So,
Really?
the armor skill for it is really, really bad. And that's the only thing that makes it a bad armor set.
The skill, so not the defenses, necessarily.
Yeah, the defenses...
Are pretty good, I've found.
Yeah, the armor in this game, it's a lot like Bloodborne. They will be able to fashion souls it up. But mainly, armor sets are ranked just solely based on how good their skill is. Which is why I say the bandit armor is actually really good. If you wear the full set, it's a 15% chance to not consume any ammo in your magazine.
Woo!
Whenever you fire, which is great for the hunter pistol. Because, again, if you're wearing that armor set, you have effectively like a 1 in 6 chance to not consume ammo. So every 6 shots, you're at least saving 1 bullet. And it cuts down on reload speed, because it preserves the bullet in your magazine.
That is great.
Yeah.
I feel like it would also be super useful for weapons like the rad rifle that have massive magazines.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, I
man.
mean, for something as quick firing as that. Oh goodness. Yeah, for something like that, that has a lot of rounds in the chamber and fires incredibly quickly, it's definitely a good pick.
All right. Today's attempt has been brought to you by hydrocoolant. It'll keep you not dead. What's up, buddy? All right. Man, why couldn't I have to get the second, more nuanced weapon in terms of acquisition from the Int instead? That one's easy, apparently. Just break its legs off.
Right?
There we go. Yeah, good call. Oh, look how much it took off of its HP bar, and all of that damage was done to the tail. I think the tail I hope, is not like, Seath the Scaleless's in Dark Souls. It is actually given a pretty generous hitbox here.
Obviously I would aim towards the end of it,
Yes.
but I believe,
Like that.
yeah, I believe you should have an easier time with that. Is that your phone? I'm assuming you have a timer set.
Hmm?
I don't know, I just heard some kind of like repetitive buzzing.
Oh, sorry, no, that's nothing on my end, I don't think.
It might have been my end then. Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
What?
It was my watch alarm going off at 10:10.
Oh, I see.
I didn't reset it the first time, so it's going off again. But it's on the charger, so I'm not gonna bother with it. Goodness, I need to take some layers off.
Oh yeah, it's oddly enough it started warming up again down here, like in the early evening, didn't it?
Unfortunately.
Which is so weird for Tennessee, because it was very cool all day.
Yeah, it's been in the 40s as of recent.
I love it.
My favorite weather. Absolutely.
Yep, nice and cold. Whew.
Yeah, definitely a lot of Fallout New Vegas vibes from this game.
Okay, so like, Smokey the Bear always told us not to start forest fires. We need a whole new campaign for the Root to tell them not to be forest fires. I didn't know we would need that, but apparently we do.
Oh, we absolutely do.
It is a very Remnant thing to have a boss with a destructible tail that would require you to drain like 75% of its health on the tail alone.
Mm-hmm.
Whew! That's just bad luck.
But yes, I am very much a fan of the hunting pistol. It carried me throughout my entire first playthrough.
Well, combined with a rapid-fire long gun, I can see how it'd be super-duper useful.
I used the hunting pistol and the hunting rifle.
Ooh! So, 1-round pistol, 10-round long gun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This was on PC, right?
Correct.
So you could assume...
I was able to hit my shots a lot more accurately, arguably.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Eclipse, he says, we found the Drago, only you can change your fate. That was close. That was so close. I think. I don't know how long it takes to break this thing's tail. Hi, Eclipse, we're trying to shatter its tail, which does actually give you a new weapon, just like in Dark Souls. Problem is, this thing is made of some sturdy wood. The internet says I gotta make a call. Lurk. Alright, no problem. Talk to you soon. We'll be here for the long haul, because I figure now that I only have to make light type edits on my or spot edits on my thesis before we're ready for the defense, and there is a pandemic on still in the South, because we are so good at public health down here, and respect for, you know, others and doing what's best for our community. I'm just gonna start doing this in the evening, or things like this. There's another game I want to play just on these late night chill streams, and I figure like people like Lady Underjoyed and Val, you'd be able to join me more frequently were it in the evening hours, right? We wouldn't draw no audience, just a different audience. What was that? Sorry, we may be blinking on Discord. Maybe not.
Here they come.
Keep away, there we go. This thing's fire breath attack has an insanely generous range.
For some reason, my internet is deciding that it wants to shoot itself in the foot.
Sorry about that. Oh. Oh, so these immolators... Oh, they're not immolators! They're regular tomahawk throwers covered in pitch! So when you hit them with a bullet, they go up! It's not elemental at all! Or rather, the enemies aren't elemental. I just got that! God, that's brilliant. That's also why the boss is able to ignite them. Because there is another enemy type you can encounter out in the overworld that is... or attacks with axes and is covered in flame, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the emulators do exist.
Yes. But these are just regular tomahawk throwers, albeit the hardier variant, the ones with reinforcement along the back, that happen to be covered in tar.
Yep.
Pistol? Ah, damn it. Pistol allows me to take them down pretty easily, too. Whew. That's what we want. What's up, buddy? Compared to, say, your average Dark Souls dragon, our pal Singe here is exceptionally good about positioning itself to maximize damage to you and minimize risk to itself. Can you imagine if something with the capabilities and weaknesses of, say, Sin, the Slumbering Dragon, had this kind of AI? Ooh, that'd be rough.
Yeah, it would.
As it is, Sin is just super evasive, but if it were designed to maximize damage like this, oh god. Let's hope that the author of the posts you found, Val, were just super inaccurate and missed the tail most of the time.
Possible, yeah.
Run them down. Okay. Hey, at least I'm sure we're getting plenty of trait point experience from burning down the ads. Pun not intended. Whew. There it is. So how many ads does he spawn at a time? It looks like maybe just 2.
Yeah, 2 or 3 if I recall correctly.
But they're always, like, right on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's that burning status and the fact that the only way to deal with it is by rolling. There's a lot of different independent stressors in this fight. I'll say it's well designed, but it's really hard.
If you're going for the tail,
If you're going for
yeah.
the tail. Because there's nothing you can really do to stay safe other than just kind of cower while waiting for it to make itself available for a bit. And it looks like, unfortunately, that tail is really resilient. Let me see. Let me go by the database I was using to see if we can look it up. Singe tail. What do we have? Let me see. An easy way to destroy the tail is by shooting it while Singe is standing on its legs and buffing. That way I could deal a couple hits with a rifle while keeping my distance. Okay, well that makes it sound like... Eclipse says, I love the fire effects. Yeah, unlike, say, Dark Souls 1's, they're really good. But that makes it sound like this thing doesn't have an abundance of health, or the tail doesn't have an abundance of health.
I don't know.
Hopefully, maybe, I don't know, or maybe we just found somebody with the patience of a saint talking about their playthrough. It's not exactly the most inventive mission or objective title, is it? Fire and wood. Yeah!
Wow. So good.
I mean, hey! It delivered on its promise.
There's definitely some fiery wood.
There's fire, there's wood. That was close. I mean, Val, you and I believe Potato and everybody have told me the melee weapon's worth it in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a nightmare to get.
Yeah, exceptional fire damage. Oh, that's scary.
Yep. At the very least, we can use the ads as shields against the fireballs. But not the fire breath, of course. Because the fire breath is like the flames of hell, apparently. Whereas the rest of it is just like, you know, the flames of, I don't know, an aerosol fire or something. Okay, so pistol seems super good at getting pot shots in on the tail when it's like flying or the like, and headshots on ads. But it looks like the amount of damage, if we are going on amount of damage instead of like stagger damage or what have you, I can get off of the rad rifle while it's rearing up is obscene. God, I hope nobody left anything they wanted or needed to get in these offices.
There's poor officers.
Sir, this is a smoke-free establishment. I know, terrible joke. Sorry. Da 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 da. Ah! Fire! What I hate is you immediately light up the second you touch any fire. Like, status effect. Boom. In that regard, it's not like a lot of Souls-likes where it would have to build up first. Remnant, why'd you have to get original on us in that regard? Okay. Well, this is going better so far. Not saying much, but it is. Oh, heal. Oh god, sorry, Eclipse, I'll get to your messages in just a moment. I do apologize, I'm not keeping up with chat as much as I should! What the? Okay. Whew. Really? It almost seems like the AI is able to tell when the boss is occupied because it calls the ads to swarm you. Well, no, I mean, Val, have you had that experience in the game? It seems like there is some kind of programming.
A little bit, yeah. I can understand what you mean.
Not necessarily like an explicit command, but there's like a priority shift.
Yeah.
I wonder if do we even tell when we've broken it? That's what I want to know. Like, will it shatter entirely, or
Presumably, it will
give you the
start
item?
off and give you the item immediately.
Oh yeah, that's usually how the melee weapons work, right? Like, you pick them up mid-fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now he does it. One thing I do really like is they made it to where, depending on the weapon you're going for, it feels like a totally different fight every time.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a well thought out game.
Oh, yeah. It's designed brilliantly.
Executed occasionally not so well, but
But for the most
we
part,
won't pass
even
those
that's...
glaring parts.
Yeah, for the most part, even that's done really well. Like, again, compared to Immortal Unchained, which was super sloppy in conception and execution.
We shouldn't compare anything to Immortal Unchained.
You can't compare anything to Immortal Unchained.
Unless, you know...
Yes! There it is!
Hey-oh! Very nice.
But I didn't get the goodie. Oh, no.
You'll probably get it at the end of the fight, then.
If I survive.
If you survive.
That's a big if, because I'm out of Dragon Arts. But hey, now at least I get to just hit it.
Just fucking send it.
Now I'll get my rad powers more easily. And look at what they do to it.
Your power is going up so quickly.
That's the power of spirit, baby!
I ran a spirit build myself, actually. What a legend!
Spirit is so good!
His ad is tanking.
Oh, hi.
Hello there. So close.
Go down! And stay down!
Well, if you get nothing else from this fight, at least you got a trait point. Oh, it was so close!
Sorry, need a minute. Oh, kinda sorry we don't have the face cam for that. Eclipse says, I love the fire effects, kinda like Calamite. Yeah, you can learn him to the point where you can take no damage, but getting hits on that tail can be a butt. Yeah, his tail too, I remember. At least by the time you get the tail down, you know the fight like the back of your hand. That is true. And that's valid. I'm gonna head off to bed, but good luck on getting the blasted tail cut. Thanks, man, and we did it. That one's for you, Eclipse, Lord of the Dargans.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We got him.
we got him.
Also, this is Mambo number 5.
Get some good stamina regen, some armor piercing.
All armor
And you got the dragon links.
Harsgard was the first to speak with the dragon. He didn't tell us, though, until it was too late. Wait, I'm sorry. That thing was sentient. What is it with Remnant and making me feel terrible for getting boss resources? They did it with the Houndmaster, and now this? I had to... That one was legitimately heartbreaking, not like me playing it up for chat or anything. I had to rile up a poor outcast whose life had been hell to the point where he attacked me just to get me to leave him alone, and then make his favorite creatures, the only family he'd ever known, eat him alive.
Yikes.
So I could get a turret. I mean, it was worth it, but,
Yikes.
you know, I didn't like it. So that's it for Earth, right? I think so. I think we
Just
cleared that
about.
up. Because it's adventure mode, they just, like, generate one zone. Or one overworld zone with a few maps branching off it for you.
Correct.
Val, how much longer do you have tonight?
Let's see, it's 10:30 now, so I generally stay up until 12.
Alright, yeah, I'm going to try to do the same here. I tend to stay up way too late thanks to, my sleep schedule getting destroyed by thesis work, you know, and the fact that, you know, pandemic, what is time? But I think it will be beneficial for me, both on stream, in-game, and IRL, to do the same. So I will stay on and stay up until 12. Then I'll retire. And who knows, maybe I'll get up at a decent hour. Yeah, making progress in all regards. Thank you, Remnant from the Ashes.
What a legendary
This is
game.
nice. Thank you, man. I hope this is worth it.
It is a very kick-ass sword.
I know that getting the Harrow's melee weapon's gonna be 1,000 times easier, relatively speaking. Like,
Yeah,
it's
Harrow's-
just... You knock it...
You
oh,
knock them
sorry.
over and
You rip it out of its back.
you rip it out of its ass. Oh man, a child abduction alert. Tragic.
no. I've heard it from several people, and I've seen it online, that the Harrow's melee weapon is apparently also insanely good.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And lightning fast.
Yep, lightning fast, long reach, very strong.
Whew. Singe, for the second time in this playthrough, made me... or primed me to join Viper, because I was about to crack.
Certainly.
Heh.
Oh, wait, no, we want to turn it in over here.
Yeah? Fine. Let's have a look.
Oh, it is one of the Elite's twin swords, like the Elite root. Spawns.
Okay.
Yeah, see, it
just
even has
fire imbuement.
Yeah, it even has like the red pustules near the hilt.
Mm-hmm.
Technically in the place of a crossguard. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
one of their swords. Nice, it's like a machete, right?
Essentially.
Blaze. Charge attacks apply the burning effect, which deals fire damage over 10 seconds. Nice. We will take it. Thank
Done
you.
here?
I think if I had to compare it to anything, it would be close to a Dao sword.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Although much larger.
Yeah, definitely a little bit chunkier. Holy shit, it looks amazing.
It deals a little physical damage, but I assume the fire damage is where it really kicks in.
It's definitely going to compensate a lot. Yeah, that looks rad. I'm going to have to go and roll a Singe seed.
Uh-huh. Do you have a PS4, by the way?
I do not. I have no consoles.
Oh, that's
Except
a
for a
shame.
Switch.
Otherwise I'd be happy to work with you to get it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't think this game's on the Switch, is it?
I don't believe so.
So hold on, 1, 2. Nice. It deals way less damage than my World Breaker by default, but I'm gonna try it out for a while as we head to ROM. And just really quickly get my stuff back in order. Well, no, that's flamethrower now. So I'll do that. ROM is such a fantastic world. I love the unit rosters available for combat. There are 3 different enemy factions on ROM, which I think is super cool. There's the Buri, the Vir, and then not the Akari, but the Kari, right? Like the degenerate Akari that have succumbed to radiation poisoning and fight you in the little Pueblo dungeon. Okay. Let's get ready to teleport out of legally distinct, totally not Warehouse 13 to the Wasteland. I only ever caught a couple episodes of Warehouse 13 while it was on air, but I loved it. That was one of the last really solid original series Sci-Fi Channel produced before it just switched to a non-stop output of terrible shark movies. My favorite, though, was... Please tell me I was not making this up and this is an actual thing. A real science fiction / suspense film called Big Ass Shark?
I honestly don't watch a lot of television. So...
Nor do I. I just remember seeing this back in the day and being like, oh my... It was either that or Big Ass Spider. Oh! Hi, doggy. Oh, that's a Veer... That's a Veer dog. It had the mask.
Huh.
I still have no idea what those do, because I've never once seen one attack. Oh, sir? Hello?
Just chilling, like a man.
I do like how the, whoa. That the Bori's hostility is actually explained in universe by the fact that the only outsiders they ever see are the Veer come to abduct them.
Yeah. And
So-
of course they don't understand... Well, the majority of them don't understand the English language, or whatever language that is being expressed.
Yeah, so it's not quite that they're insane, it's that they're very, very defensive. So I do like the sword, but based off of the damage it did to that Bori, unupgraded it ain't gonna be my friend. So... we're back home again on Rom. I love this planet. Oh, Berserker. Howdy, howdy. Goodness gracious, they're coming out of the woodwork. Whoa! Oh, a skull in the overworld. That's rare. At least in our experience so far. Now, is the implication... Help me out here, Val, because I don't know the lore inside and out yet. Is the implication that the Nameless King was once of the same race as the Bori and other factions here? Or is he something else?
I think he falls under the something else category. He came from a different universe. Much like the Root, he kind of invaded and did his own thing.
So he came from either from the labyrinth or from the place whence it was created. Like the Keeper, the other elven thing we found at the entrance of the labyrinth.
Yes.
And he just took this place over and destroyed it, and is now grinding its inhabitants up into paste to sustain himself.
Pretty much.
Oh, we already have a band of strength. First time I've ever seen a duplicate ring. 407 scrap, though. Wow. That's a great reward for not a lot of work.
Yeah. When you start finding all of the extra, or some of the rings that you've already found, and a lot of the equipment that you've already found, it just breaks straight down to a sizable chunk of scrap.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that with armor, but it seems like you get significantly less for armor than you do for rings, which is interesting. Lady Android says I'm off to bed, up at 4. Night, gents. Good night, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us.
Have a good evening.
Hope you rest well and enjoy your early morning as much as you can.
It's an early morning. I don't know what you're wanting.
So, Val, I will say, I don't know if you caught it. Potato and I, on our hard mode campaign, encountered Exilix as the course's world boss.
Let me think of who that is.
The insect princes that fight you on the bridge. They have, they fight with spears and homing orbs.
Let me Google them. I'll probably remember if remember them if I see them.
Odds are good I'm misremembering their name very slightly. It's like Ixilix or Ixillis. The 15th and the 16th. This is certainly an interesting world. They're starting us off in kind of like the ruined superstructures instead of the Bori villages. Oh, hi, Rocketeer. Ugh. Trait point. That's good. That's worth it. I love it. I find it so humorous that the World Breaker causes us to scream inexplicably with a Bori voice every time we swing the weapon. Ugh. Got a berserker.
Seer and Scald?
No. On Corsus, it's the Corsus world boss we encountered, I think.
Ah, the world boss. I see Root Mother, Ent, Singe, Claviger, Harrow, Undying King, the Unclean One, Ixilus.
Ixilus, that's it.
Oh, the moths. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
Those are bastards.
those guys fucking suck.
They deal an obscene amount of damage, even though they don't have very many attacks, or in fact much health.
Yeah, they just deal way too much.
They have a deceptively small health pool because they take very little damage except when they're priming their ultimate attack.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very hard for one small man with a broken microwave to disrupt. Even supported by an erstwhile potato. You again? Here? Huh. Okay. This is fascinating. So Val, it's here again. Yeah, okay, so neither of our Ward 13 items do anything, like we would have expected them to. But maybe this is something we're meant to interact with later in the game?
It could be a DLC object.
True. What is down here? A dungeon, maybe? Ooh. No, the base of the Soul Link. What is this? A ring I'm probably not going to wear is what? Summons will steal 10% of the damage dealt and return it to the wearer's health. The Veer are bound to their master, giving their very lives that he might lengthen his. Which is unsurprising. As I understand it, the Veer are like homunculi produced in those foundries that serve as their dungeons, right?
Yes.
Hey, Zakshuk, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Good to see you for the first time. How are you doing tonight? He says, that thing will always be there. I think it's an item you get randomized in this planet.
We also saw it on Earth.
Yes.
As well.
Yes, the, we saw it on Earth, but we were not able to go down into its substructure. Cool. I'm just playing around in ROM adventure modes or randomized ROM adventures, trying to get a weapon. Sorry, not a weapon, a mod that my fellow streamer Comrade Potato, who I'm playing through the game for the first time with, though he's played through before, says is going to be of great utility to us against the Corsus World boss that we happen to roll. Zachar says, well, I'm doing good. Glad to hear it, man. Happy you could join us. By the way, if you want to follow this playthrough in later sessions from my co-streamer's perspective, Comrade Potato, he is located in Croatia, so obviously is not joining us for this session, given that it's so very early for him. You could do so from notifications you can acquire in our Discord. Ba-bam. I am right now being joined by Valancolis.
Not quite.
Valancolis. Either or. Currently, Dark Beast Val over on Discord, who, as his very, very demanding schedule allows, has been playing through Bloodborne for the first time.
As my schedule allows. To be entirely fair, I was planning on finishing it during my hiatus from work, but yeah,
Health issues and other IRL things got in the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hate that for you, man.
I will be off work the 30th of this month, and then I have a little bit of time that I'll be in Italy, and then kind of be in between jobs after that.
Awesome. Taking a vacation to Italy.
I'll start up on IT contracting.
So, any particular reason you're headed to Italy? Just wanting to get away or see the sights, or?
My brother works there in the Air Force.
Oh, incredible!
So, essentially, he's been kind of stuck there for the better part of 2.5 years, just kind of all alone. He's had a whole bunch of kind of terrible things happen to him. His life has been in a little bit of shambles, so we all want to go over and cheer him up.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. I hate that for him. Sorry, guys, 1 second. I have to get up to have a quick snack. Zach Shock, since you're new to the stream, I'm a type 1 diabetic. It very rarely interferes with my streaming, but once in a blue moon, I just have to have a snack or take insulin or what have you. So, I'll be right across the room, but if you hear me fading away from the mic, that's why. That's super sweet of you guys, Val. I'm glad that, you're going to be able to support your brother during his trying time. And also, you'll be able to enjoy Italy, hopefully, to a limited extent.
Yeah, I believe we'll be going for about 10 or 11 days. We'll be seeing a couple of sites there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out of country, but we shall see. So far as I know, everything is kind of locked down there in quarantine, but I don't suspect that'll be too much of an issue. I am fully vaccinated. I'll, of course, be wearing my mask. I'll probably end up double layering, just wearing one surgical mask and then putting a gaiter over top of it.
Good on you. That's what I do. I'm also fully vaccinated, by the way.
Because gaiters just look cool.
Will you be able to access, or would you want to access either of the microstates located within Italy? Not microstates. I'm so sorry. That is actually rather disrespectful terminology. Rather city-states.
I don't particularly feel like visiting the Vatican, per se. The other one is escaping my memory at this point in time.
San Marino.
My family will probably want to take a trip to the Vatican, but it doesn't bother me one way or the other if we get to go or not.
Zach Truck says, I love the Hunter armor. Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. I have the Night Shroud variant, I think.
Yes, from the DLC.
Like free DLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was either free or dirt cheap, one or the other.
Yeah. I think it came with the expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness me.
Or it was released around the expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we may now continue. My thanks to all of the world's Bori for not attacking me during that break.
All of the world's booty that you've already exterminated.
No, that I'm blending in with a lizard. Urgh! Urgh! Well, let's see what dungeons we've been fortunate enough to roll this time. Apparently what we want is something called the Tear of the Black Void. It can be obtained from a pair of rather gnarly Veer guards who serve as a boss jointly. Yeah, this is more or less what it feels like in Tennessee during the summer. It's boiling hot. The sun is omnipresent. And if you stray too far from the main roads, people start throwing large objects at you. Zakshock says, interesting mod, I think. I never got that. The Tear of the Black Void? Crafting materials mod? Or, the mods I have? I would be more than happy to demonstrate the mod I have equipped to my rad rifle, because it is the coolest friggin' thing I've found in the game so far. Oh, the tier. Yeah, apparently it allows you to deploy a static shield, like energy shield, that absorbs, effectively nullifying, projectiles. What is that, Avatar? You should know. We are now bleeding, but we are now an expert in dealing with that. I do like how every enemy faction in the game is distinguished not only by their own lore, not only by their own unit roster, but is distinguished right down to the death animation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Veer have a unique death animation, or death effect, I believe, rather than disintegrating into radioactive kind of goo. They just kind of fade away into tar, right? Or gravitic energy. They kind of get absorbed by the void used to power each of them. And the human enemies in the main game, or in the first world, yeah. Oddly enough, I think they just fade away into nothingness, right? Because there's only like 3 different variants of human enemies, so they didn't think very hard, but they did give them a unique death animation.
Mm-hmm.
Or death effect.
And then, of course, the root, disintegrate into root ash.
This may be what we want. This is not. Go away. But this right here. Haha. That is where, or that's the type of dungeon, that kind of large intact nave indicates that we are about to enter a Veer dungeon. And this over here looks like a ruined Buri dungeon. The terminology I use for them, despite the fact that the Buri themselves never actually appear within. Or seldom appear within, I should say. The alt fire on this pistol is obscenely strong. So what are you up to tonight, Val?
Just playing through some of the old Spacer's Choice.
Oh, the intro of Outer Worlds. Right on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm taking care of Ridgewater, I believe it's called.
Yes, yes. So, do you know which factions you'd like to side with?
I haven't really encountered too much in the way of factions, so I'm gonna...
Oh, so you're going in totally blind.
Yeah. Yeah, I know nothing, I see nothing.
Zaxxrox has one of my favorite bosses is in this world. It's the one with the destructible cover and summons the Veer soldiers who shoot lasers from their staves. Ah, the Claviger.
Yes, the Claviger. Very fun boss to fight.
Very fun, very fair, and honestly, you get some great weapons from it. Hint, hint.
Totally not the laser rifle that you're using. Go away.
Actually not the laser rifle I'm using.
No, I know.
You get a laser rifle from it, as well as the World Breaker.
Yes.
Its laser rifle is called the Particle Accelerator, and it is A-OK, but probably not too great on console. This looks like the Kari dungeon?
It is a sniper weapon, or more so a sniper weapon, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, kind of like a semi-auto sniper. Used to find this stuff in the tallest of the old towers and the darkest alleys between. Don't know what it is, but it sure as hell makes killing rude easier. Zaxxrox says I recently started a game that has to do with factions as well. It's Wasteland 3. Oh, nice. Nice. The Wasteland games are insanely well reputed. The first was a major inspiration for the initial Fallout titles back in the day. I've played a bit of Wasteland 2. Is that also an Obsidian game, by the way, Val?
I don't exactly know.
Or I think some, like, of the same personnel worked on Wasteland 2 that worked on many Obsidian games. And, it's very good. It's very hard, but very good. So if we're getting the Kari, and indeed we are, I think our boss is going to be the turret, the Shrieker.
Sounds about right.
I love this dungeon so much. It is not safe. Kill nearby enemies. Well, I'm trying. Zach says, yeah, I tried Wasteland 2, but I gave up because my weapon's constantly jammed. Yeah, it's a game that requires a lot of really minute management. And I'm sure the third isn't too much different in that regard. Yep, Shackled Canyon, glad to be here. Time for the Wild West Shootout Dungeon. I adore this one.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, the fact that the enemies are constantly running around trying to get the drop on you. It feels like, again, a set piece from like a classic Western.
It really does.
Okay, a ring. Is this a new one? Or... No? Oh, no, it is the Gravity Stone. Kinda chancy, but what does it do? Increases all damage by 20% when there are at least 2 enemies within 10 meters of the wearer. Bori do not fear enemy. Many foes prove Bori's strength or Bori weakness. Both important to know. That is strangely wise, Bori. It's always best to be aware of and respectful of one's own strengths and weaknesses. We got scrap. Now we just need some iron. And crystals. And everything else. Oh, good. We've got the rocket launcher troops back in full force. That's alright, though. They're more or less the only units here that can really give us a nightmarish time.
Giving us a thrashing.
Oh, this pistol is really good as it happens.
Ah, shit!
Where's... There they are. Oh, we've got a mage. That's not good.
I'm in trouble.
Oh, and dead, because, the Kari are way more aggressive than their Bori cousins, funnily enough. Zach says they made Wasteland 3 slightly easier and more accessible, with skills like shotguns and pistol now merged with small arms. Same with SMGs, assault rifles, they're now merged into automatic weapons, and there's no weapon jamming that I'm aware of. Yeah, that sounds a little smoother. Val, do you have any experience with any of the Wasteland or like the early Fallout games?
I do not.
I will say, from what little I've played of Wasteland 2, it's very good, but very, very difficult to get a grasp on. There's a steep learning curve. Imagine Dexcom if it hated you quite a bit more. Or XCOM, sorry. Not Dexcom.
I've actually also never played XCOM either.
I will say, I've only played the newer titles, but XCOM is pretty fantastic. There we go. What's up?
Stay down. God, what is that?
Okay, we've got to take that Rocketeer out of commission ASAP. And, though it goes without saying, ditto for the mage!
I'm in trouble.
Zach says I never could get into Fallout 1 and 2. I've never played them myself. I know that people who started out the series with Fallout 1 and or Fallout 2 absolutely swear by them and have a hard time getting around 3 and 4. A lot of those folks seem perfectly fine with New Vegas, though, because of the quality of its storytelling, which, you know, I get that. New Vegas is probably my favorite Fallout by a very wide margin. Even though, whoa, that's new. As a Bethesda game, it plays kind of like trash. Or a Bethesda-sourced game, I should say. Two mages at once. That's a nightmare scenario. Two rad mages, anyhow. Because their ability to keep us constantly on the move is so dangerous. Now notice, we've just largely been staying in the same building this entire time, and the horde of enemies has not stopped. There is a finite number of them, it's just as soon as the Kari catch wind of where you are, they will all swarm you. Hold on, maybe we actually want to explore the very top floor of this place first. And I know across the way diagonally, there should be a skill book we didn't get. Whew. Got him.
Oh, that was terrible.
This dungeon's very short, but it's especially dense. Which is how I like my stages in Souls-likes. Tome of Knowledge, that's perfect. We have quite a few trait points in the bank we'll have to spend after this. Ah, Berserker. Great. Not at all what we wanted. Oh, good. Berserkers and 2 dogs. Just what we wanted. No! 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 Oh, God. Really? Got caught on the level geometry. I've done this dungeon before, but good God.
That's rough.
It's the Swarm dungeon. It seems like every planet has one. The Root Swarm dungeon is 1,000 times worse than this.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, the one with the enhanced Tumbleweed as a boss?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one was
tedious.
Not fun by any means.
Exceptionally tedious. No, no, no. Let's see. Problem is they have so many, like, dogs on the prowl at all times. And let's not forget they've got those mages. Okay, the Veer dog's down. Seems like there's only one of those here. Okay. Okay, so there's dogs in both directions. That's good. That's good stuff. Okay. There's some Kari over there we can take care of. Great. Oh, here he comes. And there he goes. Oh, another Veer dog? Yep. Rocket Trooper, okay, down. Another Hound. Now we're getting it. I'm not gonna go so far as to say now this is easy, but we're making much better progress. Whoa. What was that, Val? Were you gonna say something?
I was just kind of smirking.
Oh, it's over.
How's Outer Worlds treating you?
I'm getting through one of my first, like, actual dungeon experiences.
And, what are we thinking? What are we thinking about the gameplay?
It feels so good.
Feels like a very slightly more polished New Vegas in terms of actual gameplay and combat, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems to.
Like, not great, but decent. But the world and quests are fantastic. Also, good luck making it through a full playthrough without getting at least one corporate jingle stuck in your head.
Unfortunately, it does seem like a lot of the game is just kind of heavy-handedly saying, oh yeah, this is the right option, bummer. It would be a shame if you didn't do this option. Man,
So-
here, make this quote-unquote difficult choice.
So, due to the ubiquity of the board, like the corporations, that happens more than I would like it to as well. And I don't think it's because there's not moral ambiguity in the world. You'll see, at least in my playthrough, I found at least two circumstances, like major quest lines, I mean, where the kind of nuance you would like in that kind of world, that kind of game, is definitely present. But the fact that there is always a faction that is just flatly, plainly, very proudly the bad guy does take some of that nuance away in some contexts. Because no matter what your options are, doing what the corporations want you to do is almost always the wrong thing. Or the morally evil choice, I should say. But
With the
that...
exception of this one quest I'm on for... There's a man in Ridgewater who is basically completely insane. And, of course, getting on in years. So, he asked me to go to an abandoned, well, not quite abandoned, as I have found out. It's very populated by marauders. But, he asked me to go to an abandoned medical facility and get him some medication for this perceived sickness or flu that's going around. And then, of course, there's a kind of corporate lady standing outside listening into our conversation. And she, of course, says, hey, by the way, I'll take that medicine off your hands. if you wouldn't mind.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, really and truly the best option is to go through her because she's going to distribute the medicine that you get throughout the town, and he may or may not
Actually need it at all.
waste it. Yeah.
Zach asks, is it open world? I remember hearing somewhere that the devs admit it won't be open world like New Vegas or something. Well, it is, it's just on a smaller scale.
It's open world enough.
Without seeming like it wastes its space. Oh, yeah. You know what? Since I've done this dungeon before, I'm actually going to head back out onto the overworld just to conclude this stream, to do something else. Because I seem to be, for whatever reason, running up against a meat grinder here in the Kari Canyon, which is so weird for me. Because again, normally, when me and Potato went through on hard, it wasn't a problem at all. It's just very, very dense, and there's 1,000,003 enemies.
Yeah.
So, to answer your question, though, Zach, is Outer Worlds open world very flatly? Yeah, it is. And there's enough there to keep you interested in playing. Like, a single playthrough would take you, like, a good weekend, I think. Like, a full weekend. It's worth the money, I would say.
And seeing as how I got it for free, it's worth it even more.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so that's what the Veer dogs do. The same things the regular ones do, just with slightly more health. Okay, then.
Handy. Wow.
At least we're getting some iron for our troubles.
Oh, it's over.
Unfortunately, the character customization options are very lacking. But
Yeah, a little limited.
I'll live, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Zach says, "Oh wow, apparently this game has a prequel." Oh yeah, no, it was released it was released after Remnant, released earlier this year, I think. Chronos Before the Ashes. I have a copy, haven't played it at all. I'm going in totally blind after this playthrough. So, really looking forward to that. Ah, I think this might be it, the dungeon we were looking for. The Purge Hall. Yep, this is new. This is brand new. And we're going to take our handling, probably. And we'll get Spitfire back out, because we no longer have our fire weapon, and because having a... Oh, no. Hi? Yes? Oh, this is new.
Interesting.
Citadel's Curse. Reach the decontamination chamber. Causes damage over time until...
I hate this one.
Oh, and not a little damage over time.
Like a lot. Like a lot. You're practically encouraged to sprint through while bringing any kind of vampiric weapon you can. I think kills get you some health.
Yes. Never thought I'd say this, but please give me some of those stupid Veer ads. Oh, good lord. At least the dungeon doesn't appear to be that long, question mark?
I'm in trouble.
Yep.
I'm in trouble.
Heal, heal, heal. Yeah, this is an interesting challenge, I will say. Again, at the very least, it seems like to compensate, they made the main body of the dungeon kind of short.
Luckily.
Woo!
I remember doing that one, and it was rough. Even
Oh,
with
yeah.
3 people.
Yeah, it sure looks like it. Oh wait, no, it's not done. Okay. Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm just running through at this point.
Ooh, this ain't good.
Okay, we made it, I think. Good God. Well, that sure was a challenge. Not gonna lie. The clean room. Oh no, that isn't the weapon we were, or the quest we were going for, but we do get something for it. The Wastelander Flail. It's a melee weapon.
That one.
A flail with a large skull striking head connected to a chain. It's an unorthodox weapon meant to convert momentum into destruction. It converts slow startup into powerful swings and smashes, especially when attacks are charged. Well, let's see. Huh! Well, that's cute enough, I suppose. Zach Shog, thank you so much for the follow, man. Greatly appreciated, and appreciate you. Well, that's not bad, but it's also not what we were going for. I do like the design of the weapon, of course. It kind of looks like one of those classic ball and cup toys, but bones.
Yes.
Charming.
I do remember that one. Okay. That is a pretty cool weapon.
So, let's never go to the Purge Ward ever again. And unfortunately, folks, I think I'm gonna have to call it there because I'm getting rather tired. But we made tons of progress tonight. We managed to acquire a boss weapon that proved really tricky, but we did it. And we've gotten, funnily enough, right, Val, just about everything we could over the first 2 planets, except the mod we're going for. But who knows? It might still be on this variant of ROM. So, I may be back tomorrow night with some more, who knows. But until then, a special thank you to everybody who's joined me in Twitch chat over the course of the evening for this experimental little chill stream. I certainly enjoyed it, and I hope you have as well. Thanks to Val, who joined me in voice chat, for keeping me company.
Hello.
Appreciate it. Zach says, mods come from bosses, if I recall. Mods from some, weapons from others. Depends on the boss, actually. But yeah, you get a lot of really good stuff. So, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.